Mary Claire Hughes. Willis.
Howdy.
Juan Wupperfeld. Batten.
Howdy.
Whitehead.
Howdy.
Flores. Garcia. Glover.
Howdy.
Paul. Hicks. Kaiser. Murray. Poe. Sanchez. Fields. Howdy. Vander Heiden. Fortner. Knott. Lambert. Kuba. Garner. Perkins.
Howdy.
Holtzman.
Howdy.
Ebel.
Howdy.
Yamaster. Eshe. Mendez. Morrison. Smith. Crow.
All right, with that. That we're now moving to the invocation of pledges of allegiance led by Chair. On behalf of everyone.
Oh.
Dear Lord, I'm so thankful for this gathering and others focused servant part of leaders that are here today to represent the student body of Lake Union. I pray that as we deliberate tonight, that we'll serve the student body as well. I hope that we really relish these last moments with our outgoing senators, and we're just so thankful for the contributions they made for us. And I pray that as we go into this new session, fully starting it, that your hand will be on us and divine providence will guide us, Lord. And I pray, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
With that, we're now going to move into the mission statement Aggie Honor Code led by our longest serving senator, Chair Patel.
The Texas A&M University Student Senate represents all students in order to enhance the Texas A&M experience within our university and communities through research, legislation, and advocacy in accordance with the core values of our institution. And Aggie does not lie, cheat, or steal, nor tolerate those who do.
With that, we'll now move into a period of open forum. I have Chair Patel.
Howdy, Senate. Chair Patel, Citrus Affairs Chairman Patel. I have the honor as longest serving senator to pass this cane down to the next longest serving senator. But seeing as there's no real cutout time for that, I have the honor of coming and speaking in open forum and imparting some wisdom as the Senate's resident Chair Chunk. I would love to say I had one prepared. I've just been thinking about this for a while and thinking on my long storied career as a part of this institution, this esteemed body. I see a lot has changed in this time. When I got here, I was a weed fish aid. I sat kind of hidden behind that pillar there. I did a lot of homework back there, and eventually they would make me come and I'd sit behind that computer and I'd do slides. I was mortified by it, but it was also very, very fun. So many people in that Senate took it very, very seriously. Some of them took themselves very, very seriously. But I just saw the love that some of the people had and the belief that they had in the missions of this Senate that made me want to continue being a part of it. And that's what kept me being a part of it for so many years. Meetings used to run until coldness would close at 10:30 p.m. I don't know if y'all can believe that or not. So that's changed quite a bit, or it's changed here and there, depending. I think one of the biggest things that has changed, and a little bit of encouragement to give y'all, whether you're in Senate or just in your lives as you move forward, is I feel like I see a lot less debate this year than I have, especially my first 2 years. And part of that is the case because we have these tickets, which were not even really a thing when I was a freshman. They were a lot more small and contained, and people came here and people went up to speak, and they would convince people there. And I feel like, especially in the world now, it's hard to be convinced, and it's hard to find people that are convincible about anything. I know something I learned from this, and something I want y'all to take is know what you believe in. And if you have firm beliefs that are built with a strong foundation, you believe in deeply, then you shouldn't have any trouble speaking or discussing with people you disagree with. Hate gets you nowhere with anybody. Even enemies, people that you might personally despise. I believe in this text that says if you're kind to an enemy, you keep burning coals over their heads. So if you have spite for someone, maybe being kind to them is the most spiteful thing you can do. But be bold and speak what you believe. Speak in kindness, and kindness is bluntness. And yeah, maybe as an old guy, you get more ability to say those kinds of things to people. But I don't know. But what I do know is the person I'm about to hand this cane off to is somebody who is outspoken and has come up even when he knows that debate is futile because he believes very firmly in what he believes in, and that he goes and speaks to someone who I know I've always felt comfortable having a conversation with, I was in disagreement with, and who is a strong leader to a lot of people in this room and continue to be in that session. So, Brendan, you come out to the night. So,
All right, with that being said.
Oh, I put a question and answer. I don't know.
With that, he's open for question and answer. Do I see any questions? I see. Oh,
don't call that one.
I'll call him out. I see your eye.
Sure, finance, Eli, what's the what are your plans after the graduation?
Yes, so I actually have what might be a little of a surprising turn. A random opportunity came up in my old high school. I'm teaching theater tech. It'll be at a Christian school, so I'll get to do ministry, but I'll still get to be creative and teaching kids kind of like how to work with their hands to like design, be creative, build sets, work with like technology and soundboards, LED walls, lights, and stuff like that. So that'll be my job. That's what I'd love to.
Awesome.
I see Senator Broach.
Your Broach, our high school business. You wrote a bill that failed last year. Has that bill been fully signed and posted on the SGA website?
Last I checked the SGA website, which was today, my act has not been posted on every single page. I was actually just inquiring with the good EDO and good speaker about it, and I think I got no certain question. Maybe you can ask them in their reports later.
Thank you.
Chair Wharton.
Chair Board knows and regulated. The ways name the top 5 times of your career.
Top 5 times of my career. There was a great bit my freshman year when I was officiating. It was a Halloween meeting I just started, and there was I believe a veto that got overturned, and that was just a really funny meeting to be a part of. I think last year's leadership elections with y'all, that was a great moment. It was very fulfilling as an old person to see kind of the next generation take over. 5 is just so many, and there were just so many great moments. I don't know, I'm a bit stumped. Every single day was its own best day ever. I wish that back and forth.
What are your thoughts on Facebook?
I think it's for old people and it's better left in the past.
Any other questions? Senator Willis?
Senator Willis, my campus caucus. What, in your opinion, is the funniest question that you've heard in your time in seven?
The funniest question. I'm gonna appeal to tradition here. I really like the J Court Justice one about using expletives online. That's a great one. There was some Chief Justice in the past who did that, and I have to ask it to everybody. I don't know, there have been good questions about like where'd you get that tie? There was some Chief Justice candidate who wore like all purple and black, looked kind of like the penguin off of Batman. And they got some questions about that. Yeah, I'd say.
All right, with that, we thank him for his time. That will now move into the consideration of the April 1st, 2026 meeting minutes. Do I see any objections to the passage of the minutes? Seeing none, the minutes do pass. With that, I will yield the chair to Pro Temp Owen to deliver a special presentation of Senator Willis. Congrats. Well. How does that end?
Howdy.
We have two awards today. We have Speaker Center of the Year and Video of the Year. And I'm really excited to share a lot of thoughtful consideration. Nick and I worked really hard, really put our brains together for this, but they were no brain. So I'm really excited to share. We're gonna start with the Committee of the Year. So one of my favorite parts of being speaker this year has been watching our internal affairs team thrive in supporting projects, organizing events, and drafting legislation. So our first event of the evening is recognizing the Committee of the Year, the Legislative Relations Committee, led by this committee took what could be considered an easy off year and used it to their advantage. They drafted legislation, brought forth new ideas, and put on a large-scale event partner with university civil discourse solutions. The project was truly theirs. They completed it successfully and inspired so many along the way. The committee set the standard for what it means to lead with purpose, take initiative, and leave something better than you found it. I'm eager to see the direction of the committee as we head into the legislative season. The Sunday night session is set up for success because of your leadership. So please join me in congratulating the Committee of the Year led by Sarah Burke. You want to speak down to your time now? You want to take a picture?
Yeah, I was gonna do the business.
Do you want to?
Do I need to speak this? Let's go.
Wait, actually, wait, yeah.
All right, take these. 1, 2, 3.
Daddy. Daddy. Okay, she's not here with us right now because she's taking Friday. But I think it's really important to recognize someone who has impacted every single one of you guys and me. So we're going to recognize someone today who truly embodies what it means to serve student bodies selflessly and with excellence. So our Senator of the Year is Sarah Seat. This year's Senator of the Year stepped into her role a little bit late, but even in a few short months, it made a lasting impact on not only us, but Senate sessions for years to come. As a tradition and culture chair, she took on the challenge of building a brand new committee from the ground up. Her leadership led us to pass over 100 pieces of legislation this year, a tangible realization of her impact on our organization. But her impact isn't just in the number of pieces she passed or the efficiency of her committee, it's in the way she leads. She's been a mentor to new senators, a source of support during our busiest moments, and someone who continues to put the success of our organization above herself. As she steps into the new role of Rules and Regulations Chair, I have no doubt that she will lead our Senate through a very successful session. She's already working on so many things. I'm looking forward to so many second readings and a lot of amendments to the code. So please join me in congratulating some good speakers.
Now give the chair back to Speaker Jacina.
Okay, with that, we will now move into our consent agenda. Do I see any objections to the passage of our consent agenda? Seeing none, these pieces do pass. I have a copy of all of them and I'm going to sign them and we'll stamp them before you leave, so make sure to grab them before you stay. Thank you to all of our seniors for all of your hard work. Really, really, really appreciate it. With that, we're now going to move into a period of committee reports. This looks a little bit different than normal. Our committee reports, each chair will walk down to the floor and talk a little bit and then pass on the transition to the next senator. So yes, we'll start with our speaker pro temp. Pro temp Owen, come on down.
It's been a true privilege to serve as y'all's Speaker Pro Temp for a little bit of the spring. A few of y'all didn't even know I was Speaker Pro Temp coming to this meeting tonight, but glad everybody showed up. But huge shout out to Natalie Troyer, who's been kind of filling in the meantime. Let's pour a round of applause. And as Speaker Pro Temp, it is my job to give her the pass downs from all the prior Speaker Pro Temp. I won't go through all of them, but there are a few things in here that stood out to me. Like a stress ball. This job is stressful as hell. You're gonna need it. The W's. You keep the center afloat. Don't let it sink. The tape. You hold the center together. Crucial. I know Speaker Jacina. He gets a little wild at times. Gotta hold everything together. The golden toilet. The Speaker Pro Temp not only deals with everyone's crap, but they also get a lot of crap. So this sort of has a double meaning. So you got a lot of hands up. And the Reveille animatronic. It's just a gift and it sits on the desk, but it's very creepy. So if you see it staring at you, just remember the great work you're doing on behalf of students next to them. So I'll wrap up and just say, Natalie, you're gonna do great. Pleasure serving.
All right, with that, it's open for questions. Do I see any questions for Pro Temp? Seeing none? Oh, I see Senator Schwartner.
Shorter off campus, where do you plan to go after graduation?
I will be staying with the policy and staying maroon. I'll be going to Texas A&M Law School in Fort Worth next month. So.
Any other questions? I see Senator Navanko.
Senator Revolvo, Bush School. So after all this time that you've been pro temp, what is the biggest lesson that you've learned?
I think my biggest lesson is there's got to be a good team, and you always have to be prepared for Jackson Seal. What is your favorite core value?
And then back short.
Briefly, sorry.
How does it feel to be the fastest pro temp I think there's ever been?
Now, people always ask about legacy lists. Okay, that's why I was being moved. That's it. Because efficiency matters. But I like that.
Any other questions? Seeing none, we thank him for his time. With that, we'll now move to our rules and regulations chair. So the Veterans Committee report.
All right, howdy, Chair Board and Rules and Regulations. So, the esteemed future chair Keith stuck with us, but I'm just gonna explain some stuff in here. So, right here, this is maybe the only SJ backpack there is. And I thought it'd be very interesting. I think it dates back to the 61st session, if I'm remembering correctly. And within it, it holds a treasure trove. The most important thing in here is the chair's copy of Robert's Rules of Order, which is very important because the rules and regulations share. You have to know this. But the cool part about this, and I like Senate history stuff, is it has the signed names of every rules and regulations share, the 66th session. Now, what they don't tell you is that the person who signed these, let's see, 3 years ago. It was the former rules chair, Carly Ford. Because as she wrote me in the letter, whenever she was leaving, she told me, it actually was Ben Johnson, I think, or Evan Berger, who wrote them back. It was Carly Oldak who wrote them all back a couple of years ago. So the names in here are not actually signed by real people, but they're great attempts that they've seen. And this is just awesome. That we have. As well in here, there is this little tool thing. What Corbett said is what it's for. The rules and regulations sheriff. He's a person, or he or she's a person who has a lot of tool set. He has to know how to use it. And so this is a multi-tool right here, used for plenty of things. Lastly, what we got in here is we just got the documents, Parlor Pro, and we have placards of 4 former chairs. I'm now putting my placard in the series. Go into storage history. So that's the pass down. And I think that Chair Keats, I'm so excited she's the one doing this job, this upgrade session. I truly think she's going to be awesome and doing a great job. I've watched her. She's so smart, so capable. And with that, I'm now open for your questions.
Do I have any questions for the chair? I see Chair Hurd.
What's your favorite rule in Robert's Rule?
Oh, boy.
I don't know. I think the one I think about the most is that whenever like you're making an amendment on something, whenever you're asking a question about something, like it has to be relevant to the topic. You can't just go off the walls and be like, well, we're talking about adding mustard resolution. You can't in the middle of it be like, I'd actually like to consider Chick-fil-A resolution. So let's keep it on track.
Any other questions? Yeah, we can put more time. And that will now go to our community relations chair.
Already said it. Well, I don't really know anything to pass down. I don't know, I've not been in this position very long, since the beginning of March. But I have thoroughly enjoyed getting to work with the city, to represent everybody. That has been really awesome. The people I got to meet at the city has been incredible. But I'm really excited, for Charlie, who's going to be taking over next session. She's going to do incredible. She came today to one of our luncheons in Ainsley, and she killed it. I know she's going to do an incredible job. I don't think I have anything physical to pass down. If I did, Clay didn't give it to me, but anyways, with that, thanks for everything. And I'm open for questions.
I see EDO Troyer. Where did you get your word?
I got it from Dillard's. That is where I always get all of my suits from. Shout out. I love Dillard's and bakery.
Any other questions? Being any thank you for her time. With that, we'll now move to our finance chair.
All right, how do you say it?
Howdy.
So this is an interesting for me to be up here, seeing as I'm running a couple of hours for that finance chairman. So passing something down to myself, I guess. Name in the drive right now. But it's been an experience for sure, this semester, stepping into this right before Christmas break started, I feel like appreciate everyone here. Trusting me with the role of finance chairman. Thank you guys very much for, the opportunity to get to serve. I want to give a huge shout out to, everyone who's on my committee, whether you started in the finance committee, last meeting with me last semester, or we had to get you over winter break so that we could make quorum on those Zoom calls that we sat on. It was really cool to get to experience some of the things that we were able to fund this semester firsthand. In participating in big events, and doing work at a wonderful old lady, her name is Nan. We actually found a dog in her house. It's going to be our dog program now. We're getting to use the tool there that we funded. It was pretty neat. Getting to participate in Aggie Build, actually funded their training that we what's the word? Clinics. Was very, very cool as well, and to actually be a part of that. As well as a couple of the other organizations. I actually took Aggie Carpool home from the barns last weekend. So thank you, Aggie Carpool, for doing us home safe. Probably gonna fund that and fund their insurance. Just to go to show that all the things that we're doing actually do matter. All these things that we're able to fund, how we're able to fund it equitably, make sure that it was fair, make sure that it was in a way that's impact as many things as possible. I had an absolute pleasure doing it, and I'm so thankful. And yeah, thank you for everyone that was on the committee, like I said, with us during that time, especially over Christmas break. It's pretty cool that a couple of these senators took hours out of their day to sit on a Zoom call when they could be at home or going on a ski trip or something like that. And instead, they decided to get on a Zoom call to ensure that student programming could be funded in a variety of ways. I think that's very commendable. So more shout out to them than myself or anything like that, because like I said, I'm still just doing this semester. I'm excited, looking forward to the second night session, and all that it has in store. And so, yeah, thank you guys very much.
With that, he's open for a period of question and answer. Do I see any questions for Chair Adams? I see Senator Glover.
Well, pertaining to finance, are you excited about the new state finance structure?
I am. Unfortunately, I wish we could use some SGA funding for that. But a couple of $1 million later, maybe we'll have a house for my son to enjoy one day this year. But yeah.
Any other questions? Oh, I see Chair Horton.
Chair Horton, rules and regulations. Chair Adams, throughout your term, did the finance committee continue to work to ensure that all student fee monies were spent in a responsible manner?
I believe so. As I said, getting my firsthand experience with some of these different SGA committees, I was able to see the tangible, actionable things that we funded. Like I said, insurance, in case that we got an accident that fateful night, it would have been insured. Seeing the buildings they're about to build and the crane fund that's going to lift it up, I think they spent it pretty well. Can't speak for all of them, but I think my committee did a great job doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, you thank them for its time. With that, we'll move to our academic affairs chair. Do I see any questions for Chair Kim? Seeing none, with that, we'll move to our constituency affairs chair.
Howdy, sir. For the last time, I guess, chairman for town, constituency affairs. So this past down is actually brand spanking new. I was devastated to hear that there wasn't a CA pass down. I got this chairship and I decided that I would not leave it in that state. So what did I do today? I was like, what crap can I find in my house that I can talk into being about constituency affairs? And what I found was this coffee mug with the Godfather on it. Says I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. And what does this have to do with constituency affairs, man? Well, what is constituency affairs? It's meeting these students where they're at, and what is a better way to meet than over. So And it also embodies the chairship very well, because what is a mug without something in it, right? And so this chairship, particularly constituency affairs, it's one that you can kind of just chill in and not do a lot in. But I also think it's one of the roles in student government that has the highest potential to do a very large amount of good. And so that this mug does nothing when it's not filled with coffee or tea or water or like Jack Daniels or whatever you put in a coffee mug. So is the role empty without a great chair. I think we have a great chair coming up with Senator Bradley. And then thinking about the Don Corleone, a lot of wisdom he imparts as well. What does he say? He says, don't ever take sides against the family. And so constituency affairs must ensure that Senate does not take sides against the student body, and instead is a constant reflection of the interests and opinions of the student body. So, whenever you take a look at this mug, as I'm sure you very often will, I want you to think of the students and of the immense amount of responsibility and potential of this role. And thank y'all, Senator, for letting me serve in this role and for being a part of this esteemed body for so many years. That's all I got.
Now open for questions. Any questions? I see Senator Ronco.
Senator Longo, Bush School, do you feel it's proper to drink Jack Daniels with our constituents with the mug that you are giving for the constituents?
I would say if perhaps if I'm just not going to answer that. No, it's not that. No, it's not going to.
Teacher Warren.
Here, what rules and regulations, Commissioner Freckles, Madam Speaker. Chair Patel, you are a man of great watching the movies. You've seen many movies, many great movies. What advice do you have to give to the incoming CA chair on how he can be a cinephile?
That's true. I think the first big step anybody has to take when watching movies and being cultured is watching foreign language films, overcoming the 1-inch tall barrier of subtitles. I think you watch old movies. I think you get a letterbox to look at the top 250. You watch those YouTube videos where all the greats talk about what movies they love. I think that's a great place to start. I think you start with Kubrick, you start with Coppola, start with David Lynch, you start with Kurosawa, you start with Tarkovsky, and you can talk to me. But foreign language movies, I think, first big step, it opens your world a lot.
Madam Speaker, Commissioner Beck. So my question to you is, if the CA chair before you not have a gift prepared for you to pass down, and who was that?
So that CHO was actually our good speaker, Justino. And, unfortunately, no, there was no pass down, there was no gift, just some very kind words of encouragement and leadership. Was a gift.
Remember, we had a conversation and I said, reached out my mug and you thought that was. So.
I do not recall that conversation at all.
Well, I do.
Would you consider enough if it was?
Yes, I would.
Thank you for your time.
All right. Any other questions? Seeing none, we thank him for his time. With that, we'll now move to the Legislative Relations Chair.
I know, I feel, I don't like it feels to have. So legislative relations chair, Chair Hurd, County Senate, it's still a panel, but I do. No laughing. But, kind of going into, I guess that's it. I was not gifted this book, even though this is a pass back from like multiple years, goes all the way to Pat Newport, doing Wilson.
Yeah.
The characters, nonetheless, I guess LR chairs tend to be the characters of Senate, as politics attributes to the just the board of this. Very possible. But anyways, it's a book about George H.W. Bush. It's called The Man I Knew. I did not have the pleasure of reading. So Because I didn't know Candace until I was right behind Speaker Justino's desk. I was like, oh, there's my desk. I signed this time. I wish it was as long and as lengthy as like the 69th session for R&R. It goes all the way back to the class of 24. So you can get your math not too long. But I do like to say that I included this sweet little message. Be good. But in line to, I did want to talk about being at the Bush School. President George H.W. Bush's legacy is something that is remarkable, and that we should also try to live up to as statesmen, as individuals who care about policy and bring about the students, as the Bush School is credited, as President George H.W. Bush said, public service is a noble calling. You are also all part about this public service. Continue to do that in your time here in student government. You're graduating, take that with you. There's a lifetime of service, as Colonel Riley said at his lecture speech yesterday. It's truly worth living. I want to shout out because this is not just you live on the legacy of others that came all the way before you might have the world like President Bush is a bill. I also like to thank our Senate, and our commission specifically. Thank you for being a mentor. He's old as well. He's older than me, but he was very awesome with helping us facilitate my mentorship with other people in our Senate. It's really awesome. Matt, thank you for joining us late. Appreciate you for bringing your optimism and your youthfulness and your wide-eyed bushy fellas that I remember when I was a freshman that I wish I had still a little bit more. Senator Lover, appreciate you for always bringing your standard and always keeping it real and being like, Brandon, that's a bad idea. I appreciate it. Lauren, loved my committee so much, you became chair of another committee. So that's appreciate you. No, Lauren, truly getting to know you this year, but not only in SGA, but in all of our classes, truly, really appreciate. Austin is not here. Love Austin. I will say that. Sophia, she was a fish egg, so I was a little scared of her at first. I was like, fish egg mafia is gonna be after me, but I don't treat her right. You know, the Godfather. He's the head of that. Did you know that? But no, Sophia was truly awesome, always there. She even showed up when no one else was meeting her. She's always willing to serve, and truly awesome. And then I guess last but not least is Hayden. Well, actually, two more. Hayden, you joined late. Run along great ideas. You help me implement a lot of great things. So also being part of this Senate with you. Thanks. Only a personal friend, but also know that you had friendship that way because 2 years prior to this. And then last but certainly not least is our future EDO, Ross. Awesome, thank you so much for just being the best fish aid in the world. I really do appreciate you. So, hey, we apparently are Canadian here, so we're up to it. And that's it. Thanks. Thank you.
Don't be for questions. Right, any questions for Chair Hurt? None, we thank you for his time. That was on the our student service chair.
Hi, Senate. So I think I feel like one of the oldest ones because I was at work today and I've been over to pick something up and my back just scared out. But no, really though, being in the Senate since I guess spring of freshman year has been a big blessing. Honestly, a lot of the friends that I've made, all the experiences that I've had throughout this time, especially being the student services chair for now 2 years, it's been really eye-opening and it's shown me that service is can be very niche and difficult at the same time. It's not always as easy as it might seem at first, but if you're up for the challenge and the challenge is daunting, you should take it because if you don't serve, you can't guarantee that the next person will, because not the way society is right now, it just doesn't feel like there's a lot of certain leadership. It's kind of like how Colonel Riley was talking about yesterday, that we set the example as Aggies because we are servant leaders and we are the people that take the next step and go up, and whenever we hear the call, we not only answer here, but we take full charge and go forward. And I hope I at least handled that a little bit as I was the chair for these past 2 years. A lot of success, and Chase is in here, but the answer is like, wait, no, he's not here. But he did a lot. Honestly, he was one of the most impressive in my committee, coming in as a freshman and like just going full steam ahead and just being so motivated. And I really love that. I have my pass down. It's a little school bus because I don't remember exactly who started that. I think it was actually Ava who started it, but the school bus is supposed to like represent transportation. Basically, that's it. Nothing special about it being hard or anything like that. But I'm actually using it for tomorrow for like some senior photos, so that's why I can bring it. But Jack, I promise you're gonna get it. One of my favorite things to do, like all throughout my church here, was invite people over for dinner or have dinner with my committee, and especially whenever we were doing all this stuff for the suites for the dining staff appreciation project. My wife made dinner for all of us, and we just had a good time here in Clovis, ate dinner and packed up some sweet bread for the dining staff, and that was honestly just really nice. And I bring that up because I'm taking you out to dinner, Jay. And we're gonna figure some things out as far as like what it means to be prepared for this position. I have full confidence in you. You're gonna do great. And yeah, overall, thanks to everyone who made this journey so special, all the people that have been here forever. And yeah, thanks. You're welcome.
Nope, Chair Patel, sorry.
So, you can see it there. What are you most proud of from 2 years of student service? What are you most proud of? Good question. I would say being able to stay myself and be myself, even though in an environment where you might be pushed to not be yourself, where you might be pushed to play the politics games, whether it's like in the Senate room or especially like with administration and in every endeavor. I think I've garnered a reputation for always just saying that I don't care about what other people think and just doing whatever I want to do. And even toward diving, it doesn't always work out. I mean, like, especially at the beginning, that was a hard lesson to learn. But whenever like I humbled myself a little bit, honestly, and also God humbling me, I was proud to see that my growth was more so towards the student body, or like my effort and my growth was aimed towards the student body and helping them rather than helping myself or helping someone. Like last year, whenever we did these, I quoted Galatians 1:10 because it reads, "For if I so please men, I would not be a bondservant of Christ." And I come back to that. Like that's my biggest leadership quote. As a matter of fact, when I commissioned in about 2 weeks, and that's my leadership quote because I'm not here to please the world, and I'm not here to please the person my right of my life. I'm here to please God. Thanks for the question.
Any other questions? Seeing none, we thank him for his time. With that, we move to our traditions and cultures fair. Chair Keith gave me something to read, so I'm gonna read that and just pretend that I'm her. Howdy, Senate. I would so much rather be in Polish with you all tonight, but I'm currently in a finance exam. Prayers are appreciated. First of all, thank you to everyone who voted back in October and gave me the opportunity to be the inaugural chair of the Traditions and Culture Committee. While challenging at times, this has been my favorite experience at A&M, and seeing what this committee has become makes every stressful Sunday legislation submission deadline throughout the session so worth it. Thank you for all being so willing to be a part of this completed session. Whether it's sponsoring, co-authoring, coming to me with resolution ideas, or catching a ride with me to Silver Tops, it meant so much to me that many of you brought the vision I wanted for this committee. Just like in my committee reports, I have countless collaboration shout-outs I can make Allison read right now. What a blessing that is. Thank you all. To my lovely committee, thank you guys for choosing the Traditions and Culture Committee before it even had a name and for staying for so long and dedicated this season. Lauren, Bree, Tash, Mitch, Brady, Jalen, Camilla, Riley, Josh, Austin. You guys are some of the most diligent people in this room. The quality and quantity of the legislation each of you produce in poured countless hours into speaks volumes to that. You wrote and spoke as a voice of the student body with excellence. You inspired me daily, and I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to be a part of your Senate journey. I hope you are so incredibly proud of yourselves. I know I am. I have a pass down for Abigail I'll give to you later. And for now, for the tradition culture share for the 79th session. Abigail, getting to know you and learning your heart for service in this committee, well, has given me so much peace. TNC is in the best hands, and I am so excited for you. TNC doesn't have a pass down because it's new, so she came up with one. She thinks it's pretty fitting, and there's even extra insight since you get to write so much. Go get them. And that's it. For your teeth. We'll now move to our Executive Director of Operations.
Hey.
So I really wasn't sure if these were like fun vibes or and before me wasn't really so appreciated. So I'm gonna do both. Serious note first, when I accepted the role, even though it honestly wasn't what I was thinking to do instead, I had run and I'm not for Senate, and that's when EDO was presented to me. One of the greatest redirections I've ever had. It's been such a great job. I think I was in the luckiest position because I wasn't actually a senator. I just had to sit and watch and see for the first one and not build for me a job. It was so great. And then the vacant seat, that was great. A lot of the work I got to do was really cool. A lot of behind the scenes stuff. I'm really grateful for it. I think it's prepared me well for the 79th session. Yeah, I really enjoyed my time. Ross, the only thing I have to pass down is a little bit of trauma, and I'm gonna try not to do that. There's not a real pass down for this. We can come up with one and make one funny. I don't care. We'll figure it out. But yeah, this was challenging. It made me run my leadership a lot in a lot of ways. But I'm really thankful for this, and I'm looking for questions. Do I see any questions? I see Senator Vivanco.
Senator Vivanco, your school permission to briefly preface.
Briefly.
Having had the honor to sit with you on many days, and early mornings as you were rushing together and seeing how you were really passionate about getting the sheets involved, how do you feel like you have really made an impact on getting the sheets to feel like they themselves are?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously can't speak for any of the shoots, but looking at it from where I am and how I was commissioned last year, the things I was involved in, I like to think that I was helpful to them and made them feel involved. I'm sure there's more things I could have done. I'm not going to say that I did everything perfectly, but they did more than I did, and I hope next year we can have them do more.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Let me thank her for her time. Thank you. All right, with that, I will now deliver my last executive report. Howdy, Senate. I think we're sorry to. Being here this year has truly been the biggest blessing of my time in college and one of the greatest honors of my life. As I close out this session, I have an overwhelming sense of pride in the work that we've done and all that we've accomplished. Early in this session, I put a goal in my mind. I wanted to surpass 90 pieces of legislation. As an organization, we've introduced over 110 pieces, which I think is a record number. The statistic isn't just a number to me, though. Like I said earlier, I believe it's a tangible representation of the amount of time, effort, and talent that you've all put into bettering our organization and representing the student body. I think all of the recipients who have received an email from us, they know that in whatever capacity, they are being recognized and thought of by the students of Texas A&M. And you guys are the ones that did that. I hope that you take that to heart and are proud of the work that we did. More than anything, I want to thank the internal affairs team. Cole, we've been together since the beginning, and there's no one I would rather weather the storm with. Thanks for sticking with it and truly taking on the role of my left-hand man. Eli and Sam, you have impacted this organization more than you know. I'm so grateful for your leadership and the way that you humbly serve its members. To Sukia, Brendan, and Lauren, thank you for stepping into roles, remaining steady in your leadership, and leading well. Natalie, you're truly the backbone of our organization. From constantly organizing the website to leading the fish aids and the ops team, you've done it all. I can't wait to see you step into pro temp next year. No one deserves it more than you. And to all the chairs who filled roles this year, you truly kept our Senate alive. I am so thankful for you and your eagerness to step in where you were needed. Ryan did the supplemental allocations process over Christmas break. Lauren put on a huge event with the city and did it gracefully and passionately. And Tanner might go down in history as both the shortest lived chairship, but also his ability to click fast will also go down in history. When my workload felt impossible, this team showed up in more ways than I can count. You showed up just not as members of the team, but as people who deeply cared about the work we were doing and the impact that it would have beyond this room. You made this year not only successful, but meaningful, and I will carry that with me as we step into the next session. To our seniors and those of you who are not returning to the 79th session, thank you for all of the work that you put in this year. It's not easy to show up time and time again for long hours. Thank you for leading well, pouring into our younger senators, and guiding us through a successful year. You're all incredible, and I can't wait to watch you all step into your next chapter. I know many of you will be heading into the 79th session with me, and I'm so excited to continue the work that we started here. I truly believe that this session became a family, and I can only pray that we get to experience the same love and pride for our organization next year. Thank you for putting your faith in me to lead another session. It's not a responsibility that I take lightly. I'm so thankful for each one of you, and I'm in your corner always. Thank you for making this year such an incredible experience for me. It's one I'll never forget. And with that, I'm open for questions.
Oh. Senator Broach.
Senator Broach, Locker Bay School of Business. As Speaker of the Senate, were you at all surprised when former Chief Justice Brayfield came out as a tie?
Not down.
But down,
I'm down.
wasn't surprised, no.
Thank you.
I guess I'll call my own questions. Senator Willis.
Senator Willis, on campus caucus. How has both your view of Senate and your view of being Speaker of the Senate changed from when you initially took the role to now?
Oh,
And when you were initially considering taking it?
I think every speaker can take on the role in their own way. I think that there have been speakers that I've gotten to talk to who are very legislatively heavy. There were people who were like kind of acting as chief of staff. And I think I took on the more chief of staff like role where I got to meet every senator where they were and really just get to know our people. So I think my mindset going into the year was like, I have to make this my own and then kind of just adapt it as I moved on.
Yes.
Senator Mary asking this, what do you must add?
Oh, that's a really hard question. I think I'm most proud of the way our session came together. I think at the beginning of the year, elections are really hard on a Senate, like they are very divisive, but I think the most tangible evidence of our Senate coming together was when we were all writing the letters to the dining staff and we were all sitting together at tables, laughing, making TikToks and posting things in the flare. And it was just such a light moment that we got to share together. We were also doing such good work. And so I was really proud of writing 800 letters all together, and we did it together. All right, with that, we'll now move into our final roll call led by Pro Temp Owen.
The last time of the 78. Keith Mallory, Justice Rayfield, Casino,
Howdy.
Horton, howdy, Adamant, howdy, Tim, Clark, Chu, howdy, Patel, howdy, Clerk, Keats, Troyer, Vaughn, Owen, howdy, Smith, Whitaker, Allen, Jackson, O'Sullivan, Hathaway, Deely, Richards, Schmidt, Yost, Sanders, Steele, Roach, Hargrove, Basone, Bradley, Cho, Dow, Medvedev, Wells, Wu, Levanko, Geis, Lamon, Smith, Westlake, Long, Grimm, Alvarez, Burnside, Hughes, Willis,
Aye.
Von Wipperfeld, Batten, Whitehead, Flores, Garcia, Glover, Hall, Hicks, Kaiser, Murray, Hose, Sanchez, Steele, Vanderheide, Fortner, Knott, Lambert, Kuba, Gardner, Perkins, Holtzman, Ebel, Lemasters, Eche, Mendez, Morrison, Smith, Strobel. That was it.
All right, guys, with that, the 78th session of the Texas A&M Student Senate is adjourned.
Who is this?
If you like. I took those.
I know.
Welcome back. Thank you guys for being here. What feels like every single week. I'm really grateful to be here. We're gonna try to do this efficiently, so we're not here super duper late. So with that, we're gonna move into opening roll call led by Pro Tem Troy. Okay, I think he called a. Keep it on your end.
Howdy.
Speaker Casino, howdy. Chair Turner, howdy. Chair Glover, howdy. Chair Bradley,
Howdy.
Chair Abel,
Howdy.
Chair Whitehead, howdy. Chair Morrison, howdy. Media Strobel,
Howdy.
Senator Whitaker, howdy. Senator Smith, Senator Lambert, Senator Van Winkle, howdy. Senator Gardner, Senator Allen, Senator O'Sullivan, Senator Mayfield. Howdy. Adaway, howdy. Paul Maxwell, howdy. Wynn, Bowles, Richards, Blackrop, Jones, Horton,
Howdy.
Chin, Roach,
Howdy.
Hancock,
Howdy.
Jones, Brad, Alfonso,
Howdy.
Holdings, Moore,
Howdy.
Richard,
Howdy.
Knox,
Howdy.
Mock, Hunter,
Howdy.
Savonto, Hurt, Wesley, Smith, Hulda, Bears, Hubert, Pan, Medvedev, Hughes, Cox, Castillo, Dick, Ibarra, Griffiths, Morales, Poe, Not, Allen, Brooke, Clark, Hankins, Rossett, Holzman, Agnes, Lester, Autry, Valenciano, Perkins, Watts, Sparrow, Williams, Smith, Eggle, Taylor, Etching. All right. All right. With that, we'll move into the invocation and pledge of allegiance led by Pro Tem Troy. Keep out your heads with me. Lord, I thank you for this session. We're about to get started. Lord, I pray for unity in this room. It's not to be divisive, but Lord, I just pray that people are able to look beyond their own beliefs and try to understand someone better. Lord, I just pray over this session that we accomplish all of our legislative goals and that we just do really good work for your people. And Lord, I truly believe you placed each of us here for a purpose. And I pray that throughout the session we're able to fulfill that purpose in your name. So I pray it.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Allegiance to thee, that is one state from here on out, one indivisible.
We thank her for her time. With that, we'll now move into the mission statement and Aggie Honor Code. Who's next? The next holder. One second. Statement and Aggie Honor Code led by our longest serving senator, Senator Hurt.
Ready, how to Senate? Senator Hurt, Bush School, how we called some time today, how's everyone doing?
Good.
Yes. I came today. It's official, I know. Move. So let's close with Senate. Why does it make it so dang hard? So. There we go. All right, the Texas A&M Student Senate represents all students in order to enhance the Texas A&M experience within our university and communities where research, legislation, and advocacy important to our core values that of our institution. ACME does not lie, cheat, or steal, nor tolerate those who do.
With that, we'll now move into the approval of our last meeting's minutes. Do I see any objections to the minutes? Seeing none, these minutes do pass. With that, we'll now move, oops, I'm going back. With that, we'll now move into a period of open forum. Pro Temp Troy, do you have anyone for open forum?
My name is Yusuf Mahdi, and I'm a Texas A&M student, I'm a petroleum engineering student. And I'm speaking on behalf of the students who feel unheard. As students, like you all know, we take seriously the values we're taught here, like integrity, service, and leadership. And as Americans, we inherit a tradition of questioning power and speaking against human suffering, no matter the politics. And so with that said, there are a growing number of students on this campus with deep concerns about what is happening in Gaza. Over 100,000 Palestinians have been killed, including thousands of children. And almost all international bodies, like the International Court of Justice, have called the actions that are happening a genocide. So with that said, the nominee for Vice President of Legislative Relations founded the Christians United for Israel, or CUFI, the chapter at Texas A&M. And CUFI has publicly defended the bombing of hospitals and the blockade of food and water and displacement of nearly 2 million people. Now, just to be clear, I'm not saying the nominee personally holds every view of every organization they've been a part of. That obviously would not be fair, but students are allowed to ask, does this role represent all of us as students? And so this role exists to represent all students, not just those who share one political or religious plans. And many students are worried their perspectives on Palestine won't be heard or valued. So my ask to all of you, dear senators, today is I'm not telling anyone how to vote. I'm just asking you to vote with all students in mind and understand all the different perspectives that the students of this campus have and whether all our voices will be represented by the nominee that you voted for. Thank you.
All right, with that, he's open for a 2-minute period of question and answer. I see Senator Hunter.
What is your greatest concern if the said nominee is selected in your mind?
My greatest concern is that they would not be representing all students fairly and equally, as there is a possible chance of taking sides when I want people that we elect into government to represent all sides equally and not have a certain bias.
Yes. Senator Fox.
Senator Fox, on campus caucus, as senator, they're going to wish to ask questions of the candidate. What questions would you ask if you would be able to with candidate?
With the Vice President of Legislative Relations, I would ask them specifically on their stance and whether they would be able to fairly represent all the students of campus, especially the ones that are against the policies that are going internationally. Because as I said before, they are the founders of the chapter CUFI at Texas A&M, and with that, there may be strongly opposing views on what is happening and the views of an overwhelming majority of students on A&M's campus today.
Chair Schwertner.
Chair Shortner, LR, what do you believe that this matter has to do with the legislative policies of our student body? What do you believe is like the news?
Well, I believe that, as Texas A&M students, as you guys may know, our tuition, helps fund, companies that weapons manufacturers that go and send weapons to such actions internationally. So my ask is that if we unite as a student body and call against what A&M is, funding and supporting, we can have a united front, against that, and we can have a more unanimous and balanced opinion of students overall on campus.
All right, with that, we thank him for his time.
Thank you.
Pro Temp Troy, do we have anyone else for open meeting? All right, with that, we'll now move into a period of executive cabinet confirmations. We did this last week. Take your motion.
Chair Shortner, LR, I live to do all and professional some documents.
Second.
Seeing that a motion has been made and seconded, it is debatable and amendable and will require a majority vote. We will now move into the first round of debate for the motion. Do I see any debate for the motion? Seeing none, we'll now move into the first round debate against the motion. I see Senator Hurt. Former Chair Hurt. You'll have 2.5 minutes beginning at Howdy.
Ready, Howdy Senate,
Aye.
Senator Hurt, Bush School Government and Public Service. It's gonna be a broken record again, we did this last week. Last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, they're all running together. Again, we have the right to question. We are discussing multiple different legislative items, which we're doing all executive with Chicken Cop, Lunch LR, Municipal Affairs, Programming and Development. I don't know how programming and development.
Let me interrupt you really fast. We voted an IA to get rid of D&E. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
It's the first three, I guess.
But the first three, they all still have very different degrees of legislative priority. Chief policy does have covered different things from academic affairs to also our legislative relations efforts, LRs. Obviously, we kind of what happened. I think we do have the right to still question things. And then municipal affairs, since we're regarding the city, these are very different degrees. They should not be grouped together because we're not voting them all together as a lump sum. I think we have the right to vote down individuals individually if we want to. I feel like that they are not a package deal. They don't always have to work together. And as much as I would like to trust the executive, and I think that they have qualified candidates, it is still the role of the Senate through the Constitution to give us the right to question through oversight and to vote down individuals continuously if we need to. And with that, I yield to Senator Hunter.
Seeing that Senator Hunter has been yielded to, you'll have 1 minute and 14 seconds beginning at Howdy.
Senator Harvard Bush, we've got service. Very quickly, I'm not going to do the same thing that last week. Trying to do constituencies because I might ask. I'm just going to say that there is something important that needs to happen here. We did have a constituent come to us with concerns regarding this position, whether or not those concerns are valid. We still, as the Senate, need to be able to consider each of these people individually, especially if those concerns that a student brought up actually rise to the fact that we need to be able to vote against one of the candidates. We don't need to vote against the whole law. Let's make this work for everybody and let's listen to our constituents when they do concerns. I yield the rest of the time back to Senator Bennett.
Seeing that Senator Bavanco has been yielded to, you'll have 37 seconds beginning at Howdy.
Senator Blanco, Bush School, Howdy Senate, again, the Bush trio comes right back, for our new meeting. I really would like to say that my views have not changed since last time. We have the responsibility to properly scan and understand each candidate. Each candidate is given a certain amount of time. Last time, because we were doing 3 chair elections, the time constraints were understandable. Right now, we have the time, energy, and effort to go through 3 candidates because their time to present is only 5 minutes. Let's give them those 5 minutes individually to be able to actually come and share their beliefs, share their cases, to actually be able to go and
Good job,
yourself well. Thank you.
With that, we'll now move to the second round of debate for the motion. Do I see any debate for the motion? Seeing none, we'll now move to the second round of debate against the motion. Do I see any debate against the motion? I see Senator Hurt.
Howdy Senate, That's cool. I still think that we need to have constructive debate. I do fear that this is getting a little one-sided. I think that we should continue to promote the Constitution and our right of oversight. We understand that. You can vote on that if you don't agree. But I also do think that on American level, we are called to do our job. Do our job. All I ask is, we have the right to be able to call into question individuals, and we only have 3 up for executive positions that are always questioned. One is also a member of top staff of the 2 point, which is again very different levels of responsibility and degrees. And because of these shifting responsibilities and degrees, my question for municipal affairs is not going to be the same question for the LL chair. And the same question for the commissioner rather, or the chief of police. Questions need to be specific and cater to those individuals because of their different degrees of responsibility. Lumping them together shortfalls our students and it shortfalls our positions, and I think that we have the right and the obligation as the nurses who have been elected by, I don't like to say it. We are elected to represent the 70,000 students and all individuals of our Aggie community, and I think that we're falling them short and failing them to actually do improper questioning and oversight of these positions. And with that, I yield to.
Seeing that the floor,
Madam Speaker,
state your motion.
on a single school, I'm in for a ballot on this motion.
Okay. With that, we're now going to do a ballot vote on the motion. Led by Pro Tem Troyer.
Yeah, Madam Speaker, point of information,
State your point.
Sarah Horton, Mace School of Business. Does there not need to be a vote? I believe it's a 1/5 majority needs to decide the ballot vote. It's only 1 person per election.
On a ballot vote, to the point of information, Madam Speaker Chair, I believe that the ballot vote proceeds to vote is suspecting the precedent once.
All right, we're now going to move to a ballot vote on the motion, led by Pro Tem Troyer. So the motion, just to remind you all, is whether or not we want to consider all of them together or not. Can you remind me what the ballots say?
So ballots, you'll write your name, your caucus, and then it says vote for the diversity.
So the 4 is to consider them all together. The against is to consider them one-on-one, and then you can also abstain. That makes sense to everyone? Please do this quickly and quietly. Quiet while you're voting. There should be no conversation while you're voting. Make your point. Yes. If you're voting for, you are voting to consider them all together. If you're voting against, you are considering them all apart separately, and then you can also abstain. Has anyone not received one?
Love this.
Right, just write it. Thank you. By a vote of 21 to 24, this motion does fail, and all of them will be considered separate. We're now going to move to the executive cabinet confirmations. Where's that? Yeah, you're gonna introduce him. Go ahead, you're good.
Just cool. Not all of you yet. Had the privilege of going to every Senate meeting so far this session, I think. Can't say it'll stay that way every time, but I'll try. Cole Horton for Chief of Policy. Cole is just one of the most knowledgeable people I know when it comes to a lot of things, but especially Student Government Association, how things work here at Texas A&M. Great with administration and faculty, super knowledgeable about where to go to get certain things done. You would be excellent at leading all of our policy initiatives. I mean, his character is impeccable as well. He loves people super well. I almost never hear him say anything negative about other people. And he is very willing to work with anybody that has a passion for serving students. That's all I have to say.
All right, you're open for a 5-minute period presentation.
All right, hi, Senate. I'm glad. Hopefully, this is my last time this year speaking on the floor of the Senate. But if you'd like to click the next slide. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Cole Horton, full name Christopher Cole Horton. My dad goes by Chris. I'm from Washington, Texas. I'm a business honors and finance major. I want to go into corporate law in the oil and gas industry and work with energy law. This summer, I'll be working at the Texas Public Policy Foundation doing policy research in Washington, D.C. I'm very excited for that. I'll be living with a couple of soldiers right there. As well, there's a brick with my name on it at AT&T Stadium that it says Jack. It's my great grandfather, Chris, which is my dad, and Cole, Cowboys fans for life. So I am involved in a business honors program. I just recently got involved with Ivy University as well. I'm a Terry Scholar, fellow Terry Scholars now. This past summer, I worked at Pineville, Silverado. Camp was so awesome. My camp name was Sailboat. And I absolutely loved it. It was a great mixture, a great way to work with the kids and raise graduate play. As well, today is my first day as the junior class president, as musters ended and I officially started that. And in the past, I've served 2 terms as student senate, first as a freshman caucus leader, and then last year, sitting as a regulations chair. So a couple of things I want to bring to note, something I value excellence. Anything that I do and have others do for me, I want it to be done to the top degree. I want this to happen, because especially in these positions, we're going out, we're serving students, we're making sure that voices are heard. And if we're so concerned about making voices heard, let's do it with excellence. I believe that's imperative. As well as selfless service, I've really learned about time fixing the importance of serving others, of being a person that others can call. And even if you don't want it, I know earlier today or yesterday, my roommate was like, hey, my brother took my truck, can you come drive me by? So I was about to have to go somewhere else, but I knew that I owed a duty just to go selflessly serving. As well, I believe in loyalty. Loyalty is the idea of, supporting the people you come with. It's the idea of holding true to what you believe in. It relates to people, it relates to ideas, it relates to the way of life. I would say I do my best to be a little person that always work to help out. So with divisions, there's a couple things. If you don't know what student policy does, student policy pretty much over all of the external advocacy jobs that SGA does in this thing. So whether that looks like going into City Hall, and working with our VPMA and other people on municipal policy, going to Austin with our VPLR, and LR commission, and our chair, go advocate for statewide issues. Or where do you going to the admin world, advocating for things on academic affairs, services, things that directly affect life at Texas A&M. I look to build on the relationships we've gained with the legislator from this past session and our current LRT that's continued, especially with SB 1567, which got rid of no more than 4. So if you're living with more than 4 roommates right now, thank the previous team who worked on that, and thank Bryce Fisher was the previous time if you do it now. And so there's that as well. I'm sure the policy teams that would go out to legislators talk, they're well informed whenever they're speaking with legislators or stakeholders. They know what they're talking about, they're able to best advocate for students. And with that, I thank you, and I'm now open to a period of questions.
Now open for a 5-minute period of question and answer. Do I see any questions? I see Senator Schwartz, Chair Schwartner.
Chair Schwartner, LR, how do you feel that your time in the Senate?
So starting off last year, my freshman year, I was not on LR. I didn't do that stuff. I was on the rules and kind of taken out of that one. But I got to meet Ben Crockett, who was the first chief of policy. And Ben took me under his wing and taught me a lot of what it meant to go out to advocate for students. And through that, I went to Austin. I testified before the state Senate on SB 1567, SB 840, SB 17. They're all relating to housing affordability stuff. And it's such an awesome experience. So that has helped me. And then as well, being in the Senate, you understand the legislative process a lot better. When you're going to talk with legislators, and what we do, it's not the same, we do it often. When we come here, we talk about things that are directly impacting students or celebrating people, but that's equally kind of what Austin does. They have resolutions that celebrate great things that great citizens of the state have. They have legislation that affects the pocketbooks of everyday Texans, affects how they live. And kind of seeing the similarities, it's kind of preparing me to go into there, but there's still a lot to learn. I'm hoping to learn a lot more about public policy during my internship this summer. Very excited.
Senator Hurt.
Senior for the short run of public service, would you say that you're riding on a little bit too much by being also your class president?
I would not say so. I believe I can fully do this. Those are pretty much my 2 involvements outside school. And I'm a business major. I'm only gonna have classes Tuesday, Thursdays. I'm not too worried. I'm very ready to check on the workload. I also know I'm gonna have an awesome team on both. We're able to go out and serve the student body with excellence alongside. And really, when you're in a position like this,
a lot of times you are the one going places, and advocating and working with administrators or with stakeholders or legislators. But you also need to train up other people too. People like our VPMA or people on the LR commission or LR commission, who can go out and advocate too. The things that sometimes you may need to be in two separate rooms at the same time. And if you're the only one who can do that, that's a problem. So it also comes with delegation, as any good leader will tell you, and going out and doing that. Thank you, Senator.
Senator Pivonka, briefly.
Obviously, there's a lot of schools that do processes like what I've heard, essentially wanting to have benefits of school rather a lot smaller or we have a lot larger attendance. Based on the processes that you're essentially want to look at changes, how do you plan on reconciling this have funds and organizations that you don't oversee at all?
Yeah, so FAB, for those of you that don't know, is a student fee event or student fee advisory board. And what it does is, you know, the student fee dollars you pay what, $2,2,600 a year, that goes to the student fee. Well, those are effectively a tax on students if you think about them, and they go to fund different student activities, different fund services. And the whole thing is that, you know, these effectively tax dollars should go back and be decided on. How the Texas Higher Education Code has it written is SGA puts 5 people on there, the officer president puts 5 people on there. So effectively, the elected representatives of the student body have control. And you're mentioning how other schools stuff.
See your motion.
Senator Eric, there's, I should extend the question to 3 minutes.
Seeing that motion has been, hold on, seeing that motion has been made and seconded.
I move to agree with the ballot.
Point of order.
Correct. Okay, we're still on this motion. It is debatable and amendable and will require a majority vote. We'll now move into the first round of debate for the motion. There's any debate for the motion? Being done, we'll now move into the first round debate against the motion. Do I see any debate against the motion? Being done, we'll now move into the second round of debate for the motion. Do I see any debate for the motion? Seeing none, we'll now move into the second round of debate against the motion. Do I see any debate against the motion? Seeing none, is the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided. We'll now move into a period of voting on the motion. We'll do this via standing vote. How much did you want to extend it by? Okay, so for the people that are going to stand for, they're standing to extend by 3 minutes. The people that are standing for against, we're just going to have the remaining time. Does that make sense to everyone? All those in favor of extending the period of question and answer by 3 minutes, please rise as you ready. Please remain quiet while we're voting. All those opposed? By a vote of 31 to 13, this motion does pass. Let's move to the period of question and answer by 3 minutes.
So back on the subject of FAB, so you're asking other schools, there's the idea that they only start school system. Well, as it works at the University of Texas, TU, that school down in Austin. Dang, Shorthorns. No, we're not talking about the Shorthorns, we're talking about supporting students. We're talking about going out and ensuring their money is well spent. But what TU does is their student body president actually sits on their equivalent of the SPAD board there. As well at other schools such as Texas Tech, University of Alabama, UCLA, Florida, Florida State. The student governments have a lot more agency over control of student fees. And a lot of these, you see these student governments have controls of multiple hundreds of thousands, millions. I think Florida has control over $10 million. And this is ultimately because student fee monies are effectively tax on students used to provide student service.
So the whole idea with the going out and advocating for, more student representation on the SFAB board, which it really does have, it's consistent of 9 students, is to ensure that the real conservative students are being heard, that money, that their hard-earned money that goes towards tuition, and that if we're, if you're a student who, especially you're working through college, you're struggling to pay, but then you have to spend $2,600 on things that might not directly help you, things that don't advance your education, get administrative load, other things, then you might feel a little disappointed. Not just as the student senate, which appropriates $75,000 worth of student fee monies, but as stakeholders in the university, we should be concerned where this money is going. This is a part of what we're looking at. This has been looked at for past 3 years or so, I think even before, but just looking on how to do it, because I think back in 2001, I think it's late, I was looking in the archives a couple of days ago, Monday, and in the 2011, I think, 2011, 2010, the SFAB board, the student fee board was actually executive committee, just like Big Event, just like Mustard. It's a direct part of student government. Somewhere along the way, it's lost out. But the student senate had the power to remove the chair of that board, which was done by the chief justice. And it's really interesting how many checks that the elected representatives in the student body have on how student fee monies were spent. That's the thing I care a lot about is, going out and being fiscally responsible, spending our money right, and doing it in a way that best serves you.
Senator Hunter,
Something that goes through the government public service, Commissioner Brett,
briefly.
You talked about it in your rap, there's a super majority of the people in this room elected. You're the exec, what gives you assurance that they're not just gonna vote in favor of your policies because you're the exec, instead of voting their conscience? You're the Senate.
Can you expand on that a little bit?
And asking, so you help get these people elected, do you think that they're gonna feel beholden to vote the way that you align yourself in the executive?
I think each senator, they have a duty to decide what they want to do. Because you're the elected representative of the student body. And that's like what we we're talking about earlier, student fees, is it's your job to hold people accountable, to hold institutions accountable.
Is there a motion?
I don't know. I have a motion.
Say your point. That's true, you're out of order. Okay, keep going. Oh, just kidding. Please wrap up in 1 sentence or less.
And so I think it's very important to certain students, and I'm so thankful.
Got it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cindy.
Okay, with that, we'll now move into a ballot vote led by Pro Tem Schroyer. Got it. Oh, I forgot about the fee.
Yeah,
Thanks, sorry. That's on me. Okay, we're now moving to the first round of debate for the candidate. Do I see you debate for the candidate? I see Senator Adams. You'll have 2.5 minutes beginning at half.
Senator Adams, off-campus caucus. How are you? I apologize, I grabbed Senator on. Now I'm going to talk about my good friend, for the board. Not only is he a friend, but he is a peer colleague that I trust wholeheartedly in the position. Someone that has experience, someone that has a very, very applicable experience, and someone that's motivated, someone that's encouraging to a lot of us in here, someone that we've all probably interacted with at some point or another over time spent. I think the position of chief of policy is very important. I think he's someone that is not only up to the task, but someone that will go above and beyond to ensure that it is completed to the best of his ability and carry out all these policies that the student body president, vice president have on their agenda for the upcoming term. And like I said, he's also a dear friend of mine.
someone that's character, mouth, so that I feel really. Share the weather.
Seeing that Chair Glover has been yielded to, you'll have 1 minute and 32 seconds beginning at howdy.
Chair Glover, howdy.
Wow. Maybe assertion that there would be some kind of back scratching within is because we did run up traditions, and I know that everything wants to get perfectly charged, but I'm someone who does not see eye to eye with Cole on everything. A lot of things, but Cole always takes me just at my intrinsic worth as a human being. And we can have this discourse and also understand things from a very theoretical yet tangible point of view. It's not politically charged. He just has a really good sense of what's pragmatic and what's logical. And that's really important when we're considering these things. And I just want to say that because it's unfortunate that that's not part of the loyalty.
Yield to,
I'll yield to
which one? Chair Abel?
yeah, chair. Sorry.
Okay. Seeing that Chair Abel has been yielded to, you'll have 41 seconds beginning at howdy.
Chair, Animal Student Services, howdy.
Howdy.
Cole Horton, man, I mean, like you said, when he was my character witness, he was like one of the first people I met when I came to A&M. And he's a mentor to me, someone I really look up to. He knows his stuff. He's gonna be great in this role, and I've never seen someone so knowledgeable about SGA, about government in general. And honestly, this kind of a testament to who he is, what he cares about, and what he does. So with that, and let's do it. Chair Sporter.
Seeing that Chair Shortner has been yielded to, you'll have 10 seconds beginning at howdy.
Chair Shortner, LR, County Senate. Well, I have such a short amount of time, but I can't speak more highly of Senator Cole Horton. He was my mentor last year and still is.
Please wrap up in 1
Senate,
minute or less.
And he has an unbelievable amount of experience for this and definitely deserves it.
With that, we will now move to the first round debate against. Do I see any debate against? I see Senator Hurt. You'll have 2.5 minutes beginning at howdy.
I said. Senator Hurt, Bishop Government Public Service. I agree with what you, at least I said, I completely agree the character of Cole is. I think he is a true person of character. But I do think on the merits alone, if you look at him, he doesn't have any experience with the LR commission. He has no experience at LR chair or in the LR committee. He has no experience on the state level in politics and no experience mentioned in the resume on the national level. Now, yes, he's going to internship to CPF, it's great. But I think that we need someone who has sharper skills, more refined skills, specifically to be the one that is the chief executive of leading the LR team, the municipal affairs team, services team, and academic affairs. We're wanting to talk about the nitty gritty of SFAB or first gen mass training program or the workforce solutions or our foster care legislation. We need someone who knows their way around Austin, and frankly, I'm going to say someone who was the former chair. Just being able to testify in front of one committee does not give you the experience to be able to navigate the lobbying and advocacy work that is needed, particularly for the chief policy position. Ben Puckett was so great as chief of policy because he knew his way around Austin. In fact, he was not saying Puckett, he's like, I'm related to Ben Puckett or David Puckett. Yes, I am in the other times, like, no, I'm not. But he was able to create a brand that lured people to him to be able to create this advocacy to connect here. That on the hand, it does not have the ability to have the experience yet that he's qualified that's merit for the vice executive office for this position. And with that, I yield to Senator Hunter.
Seeing that Senator Hunter has been yielded to, you'll have 54 seconds beginning at howdy.
Ignore Bushel with Government and Public Service. Howdy. My concerns previously with there's privilege back scratching, that's been alleviated. It really does go back to the experience factor in this. And I speaking to you, Student Vice President Fisher, it's just a small concern about you have to know Austin, you've worked in Austin, and you know that you have to have specific experience, at least in my mind, if you're leading this charge. You have been in the building and know the dynamics of Austin. We have many great alumni from ANRP and PPIP who have served in Austin, who have great experience inside the building. Please bring this as student who has had that experience. I would be glad to vote for them. And with that, I yield to the floor.
Seeing that the floor has been yielded to, we will now move into the second round of debates for the candidate. I see Senator Griffiths. You'll have 2.5 minutes beginning at howdy.
Senator Griffiths on campus caucus, howdy Senate.
Howdy.
I have not been here for very long, and I don't know Cole personally, however, I do know student body vice president, and think that he and his president, Polling, Duncan Polling, has slightly tell me that it's great for the job. I understand what the other side is saying about possibly not being wholeheartedly ready for this position, given his resume, however, it's not the entire point of it. If it was me and I was running for it, I would want your vote because I want to learn and gain from something from this position. That's kind of what the position is about. I understand that they're representing the student body and have more constituents they are representing. However, there's a learning curve to it. And how are you going to learn anything if you're not giving nothing to it? I yield the floor to Senator Taylor.
Seeing that Senator Taylor has been yielded to, you will have 1 minute and 41 seconds beginning at howdy.
Senator Taylor off campus caucus, howdy Senate.
Howdy.
Alex, you know me, I obviously was not on the stage to get this poll for it. And truthfully, I know poll for it and I just plethora of things that I don't agree with him with. But being a class president with him, I have had a distinct opportunity of getting to know Cole Horton. And I understand that there is an idea that he may not have the experience for this role. And what I see to that is that we must not forget that we are here students and that we are here to learn. And I think that anyone who knows Cole Horton, he knows how passionate he is. He knows that he is somebody who can sit here and get the job done. We also have to have a little bit of trust in our SVP and SVP that put him on this podium here to see the finals. There's a lot of things I don't agree with Cole Horton with, but what I do agree with is that he is a man who can get this job done. I urge you to go with me. With that, I yield to Chair Glover.
Seeing that Chair Glover has been yielded to, you will have 39 seconds beginning at howdy.
All righty, Chair Glover, CR on that, howdy. All right. I think we can't underestimate the worth of a layman, even though Cole is not a layman, he's very well read. He knows what he's talking about. I mean, let's consider the example of Ronald Reagan, he was an actor. Ran for governor in California. So let's just consider the fact that Cole, although he is not a political science major, although he did not do PPIP, although he has not served, you can still glean the important knowledge elsewhere. I mean, I think that's just a fact, and I think that's a testament to how Cole operates and he is this person because he's able to
Please wrap up.
myself with people who inform like that.
With that, we'll now move to the second round of debate against IC Senator Hunt. 2.5 minutes at howdy.
Howdy.
Senator Kurt Bishop. I'm not around. I appreciate this. We did this law. Last session. Continuing a little bit on, I think on the merit argumentation, I still think that yes, we're all students, we're meant to learn and have an opportunity. This is the chief executive position for this role. If you were doing an LR chair or joining the commission, I would say that wholeheartedly you were able to learn this position. But this is not, the steps have not been taken. So I think on the merit front, I think we need to evaluate on merit alone, and by trying to promote this equity that I don't necessarily think is best in this job description. Secondly, though, on the time constraint, I did talk to a lot of former individuals who were part of the commission who are reducing their class hours to 9 hours this spring. Because they are worried that their class schedule is going to get more time. I think that's something that is immediately very important. Cole is not only going to just change policy, but also to be your class president. Both who are head executives of leadership positions. And some of you did this master as a director of club, also part of county crew, and also leading my faith. It's a time constraint, and you're being stretched thin. And I fear that we need someone who's solely dedicated to the position. Because that's what made Ben so successful, is what he was just doing, was policy. I think we want someone who's able to pass legislation through the state legislature, who's able to help with the LR, who's able to help with MA. We need someone who's solely dedicated to the position, and with that, I need to send her a phone.
Seeing that Senator Vivanco has been yielded to, you'll have 1 minute and 4 seconds beginning at hand.
Concro questionable, how do you said it?
Howdy.
I genuinely don't want this to come off as period, or like I have any personal issues with Paul himself. He is a wonderful guy. I personally had the privilege of getting to know him within my first month of getting here at AM, as he did initially were difficult to get. And then since he's ran on traditions, he has done such a great job at getting more people involved. And at the end of the day, that's the mission that I really care about, regardless of what's paid for. For me, I have a couple of issues with him as the chief policy. First of all, the actual work that will be done, my goal is gonna be, as far as I understand, a lot of it will be small staff. This won't make the student fees go away, and you don't necessarily have the ability to handle millions of dollars potentially, because we're a full, and not all people are gonna go all in on this money. Because that, we would be in charge of the allocation process, and when we go to other branches and SWA, if, yes. And I don't think we have the manpower to do that.
Please wrap up in 1 minute, relax.
We've seen him work in Senate, and I personally believe that this role is just not his ideal. I believe in him as a person, but his
Wrap up.
position is not the best place to work. Thank you.
All right, with that debate has concluded, we will now move into a ballot vote, led by Pro Tem Sawyer. Oh, yeah. Okay, let me listen for just a second. We are voting on the candidate right now. So either your ballot says candidate 1, candidate 2, just circle candidate 1 or write no. And then if yours says for or against, if you're for candidate, the candidate, circle for, and then against if you're against. And please be quiet while we're voting.
Yes, ma'am.
By a vote of 34-11, Coburn is confirmed as the superintendent.
I state your name, you solemnly swear.
I, Christopher Cole Whitman, do solemnly swear
Faithfully execute to the best of my ability.
to faithfully execute to the best of my ability
The duties of the office of state your office.
the duties of the office of Chief of Policy of the Student Government Association,
For the Texas A&M University Student Government Association.
the Texas A&M Student Government Association,
To uphold the honor of the same.
to uphold the honor of the same
At all times to protect the welfare of the student body.
at all times to the welfare of the student body,
And to promote good relations between the students.
and that the relations between students
And those concerned with the university.
that is concerned with the university.
So, yeah.
So help me God.
I will now move the Vice President of Legislative Relations. Oh, with that, we'll now. On my paper, it says first. Will you tell me what yours? Okay. With that, we'll now move to the consideration of the EP advice, well, of legislative relations. You guys should-
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right, howdy.
No, whoops.
There we go. Duncan unfortunately is an industrial engineering major in Florida. We're 2 to 11:59. Exactly. Thank you, Senator Adams. So he had to run off to finish that. He'll probably be back later. But I'm super excited to introduce our next candidate to y'all. Lauren Clark, if you haven't gotten the chance to meet her, is one of the most impressive individuals that I think is in the student government right now. And I can say that to you, knowing that she worked on the opposite campaign for student body president. I think so highly of her and her skills and capacity that we would want her on this team regardless. I got to spend a week with her in Washington, D.C. at the beginning of this last semester. And guys, there's not someone more skilled in advocating for effective policy, putting aside all of her previous bias, everything that she believes in fighting for what's right for students. She's a person of real integrity with real experience for this role. So I think she's definitely someone that you guys are going to get to love. Seeing her in this role, obviously you've gotten to see her work in the Senate, so she's going to be even more effective when she comes over to the executive branch. And I'm really excited to watch her hit the ground running. So without further ado, Lauren Clark.
You have 5 minutes to getting it howdy.
Howdy, Senate. That was so kind, Bryce. Thank you so much. As you can see, my name is Lauren Clark. I'm class 2027. Yep. And I am here to talk about, next Vice President of Legislative Relations. So here's a little bit about myself. I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I'm a political science major and I have a minor in Homeland Security and Emergency Management. Yeah, shout out Colonel Riley. He was incredible last night at Munster. He's having the last 2 semesters. He's awesome. PSA programs, also awesome. So here's some of my leadership and things that I've done in the last few years. So in this past session, the 78th session, I was in the student senate. I was on the legislative relations committee, and then a couple months ago was asked to step up to be the community relations chair, which is honestly was the privilege of a lifetime. That was incredible that I got to, even though coming into it late, I really got to really work with the city and make some really great relationships, and that was really awesome. Along with that, over the last year, I've served on the Legislative Relations Commission over on the exec side, and so I got to work with our current VP of LR, Michaela Johnston. I learned so much from her. She's an incredible person. She does genuinely has blown LR out of the water, and I have learned so much from her. So getting to serve under her was incredible. Within the Legislative Relations Commission last year, we actually teed up and worked on all of the stuff that we want to work on for the 90th session. So I got to kind of be very hands-on with creating these policies and writing these policies, going to Austin a couple weeks ago to talk to these different offices. So I've seen how the commission works. I was on the commission, and yeah. So then on top of that, I am a member of Kappa Kappa Gamma, PC 23, and then I'm an 1879 Society ambassador. And then so some of my internships and things that I've done, I worked last year in the House of Representatives last summer, and as a congressional intern. During the legislative session in 2023, I worked in the Texas House of Representatives as a legislative intern for Representative Ken King. On top of that, I served on the 1525 steering committee, the Texas Holocaust Genocide Commission, that is governor appointed. And then I have interned, over the last few summers, in the past with Christian United for Israel as press and student. So here are some of my values and visions. So my first value is my faith. I lead with my faith and everything. It's the basis of who I am. But on top of that, excellence and integrity. I believe that we can't do anything without excellence. We should always be pursuing excellence in everything that we do. And my last, integrity. I know the common question of what is your favorite core value and why. Integrity is my favorite because I believe that without integrity, we are nothing. We have to have integrity. We have to make decisions and do everything with that ethical base of integrity. So here are some of my visions and goals for the next year. So I want to make sure that we advance our student-centered policies and champion the secure passage of our 3 initiatives that we worked on last year. I know briefly mentioned this, but our 3 priorities are the Texas Future Workforce Act, the Foster Care Student Success, and the Texas First Generation National Grant Program. So these 3 bills we worked on, we met with offices about. I'm super passionate about all 3 of them. And getting to go and advocate for them in Austin and make some real strides for higher education during the 90th legislature. On top of that, building strategic relationships with the legislators and their staff to move our student priorities from the proposal to actual policy. I want to make sure that we're elevating all of our student advocacy at all levels, whether that be at the state and federal levels, and serve as direct liaison between the student body and our officials. Then I want to ensure that our student perspectives are actively representative in policy conversations. This one that I actually am really excited about. Bryce briefly mentioned it. We went to DC back in January. We had our first Aggies in Action, which was really awesome. We got to go talk to different members of the Texas delegation. So one of my jobs would be host the 2nd annual Aggies in Action trip to Washington, DC, which would be really awesome. And then I want to provide students, work with the students that are going to be on the commission, but provide students hands-on exposure to federal policymaking and advocacy. I think the commission is a great place for students to learn and grow when they have a passion for policy or a passion for politics, and there's something they want to do when they graduate. This is a great first step into doing that. So giving them that giving them that exposure would be awesome. And then developing a more structured and impact-driven commission that equips the students to be policy researchers and advocates. So there's kind of 2 sides of it. It's really important that we have our people that are super policy driven and focused, but also people who are really good at advocating and making sure that we bridge that gap and we have people that can do both. And that way we're extremely effective. Thanks again. And I'm now open for questions.
All right, she's open for a 5-minute period of question and answer. I see Senator Hurd.
I spoke member of public service. So how large would that be when you went to try to have this team?
So I don't want to necessarily break it apart. I actually would like to, and this is what I've talked to Bryce and talking about, is making it bigger. I think during the 90th, we need a bigger team. That way we have, we're using everybody to their fullest potential. So our team this year was incredible, and potentially adding more to that. I want to make sure that, while there may be somebody who's really, really good at research and really, really good at policy analysis, but maybe they're not necessarily as good at public speaking or speaking to different people, making sure that they kind of have both of those aspects. They can get the experience for public speaking, and maybe people are really good at public speaking, but not necessarily as good as analysis. So kind of making sure we bridge that gap and they get experience on both sides.
Senator Gonka.
Do you feel like it makes your own personal life policy?
No, I know this is kind of a point of contention. Y'all probably saw the email. And this resolution has everything to do with higher education policy and has nothing to do with my personal beliefs. Well, yes, that is my personal belief, and people can bring that up as much as they want. That is your right to do so. Putting it against me and thinking that I can't serve our student body because of that would be just as much of a disservice, because that's not the case at all. I advocate for what our student body president or student body vice president, or what they were elected by the student body, and the things that they want to push forward. I would push forward those things. Has nothing to do with my personal beliefs, and this is strictly higher education, not any other issues going on.
Senator Castillo.
I think the biggest thing I learned, and people probably always say like, gotta talk to the top person, gotta talk to the member. That's not necessarily the case. The staff and their staff are so important and getting time, people might say like, oh, you didn't get time with a member, you got to only talk to their staff. That's equally as important. Sometimes even as an intern, I was drafting memos and giving them on and like, they were like, okay, they're so inundated with so much stuff and so much information. And it's such a fast-paced world. Learning to work with staff and realizing that they hold so much value in the office was really important. And that's something that I would carry on.
Pro Tem Schroyer.
Question for this really.
Granted.
Yes. Okay, so those 3 bills that y'all have been.
Point of order, say your point.
There sheets, rules, and regulations, and senators and all.
That's true. I see Senator.
Commissioner, briefly.
Briefly, yeah.
You worked at a legislative session and working with Queen's office, it's got a lot of last week out there. I want to ask, what is your read on the in higher education policy? Where do you see? What are the obstacles?
I think that the 90th is going to be a fun one, to say the least. We've had a lot of great things, and really big issues that have come up in the state of Texas since we last met, last year. And so I think that specifically in higher education, we're seeing a push from a lot of the legislators about what higher education looks like and what policy looks like and what's being taught in our schools. And I think that that's going to be a big issue. And I think that's going to be something that's going to be brought up a lot. I think my job specifically in that would be advocating for what our student body wants, regardless of what's going on. I believe that our 3 pieces that we have, those are the 3 we'll be working on, not necessarily getting involved with other things. Those 3 pieces alone have nothing to do with anything that's crazy or anything that's going on. And we want to make sure that we pass those along, because they're genuinely good pieces for the student body, for higher education, and for all higher education across the state.
Senator Hurd.
So your individual government public service answer a question for either President Ford or George. Can you summarize the 3 legislative initiatives in 1 sentence?
Yeah. Okay, so the first one would be the foster care student success. This would be a governor appointed committee through the THCB that would basically research what's going on with foster care students in higher education and then create legislative issues, policies, whatever that might be, and give them to the legislature to enact, getting more information on foster care students and really tracking how they're doing post being in the system, and graduating from that and making sure that they have access to all of the things that they do because the state offers a lot for them. The second one is the Texas First Generation.
Please wrap up in 1 sentence or less.
The grant program. This one is first gen. You're actually gonna hear about these later, so you know what? We'll just keep moving along.
Perfect. All right. Thank you for your time. With that, we will now move into the first.
Why do I have to go?
Just leave. You introduce her.
Should we introduce yourself?
That's true. Okay. We're the first round debate for the candidate. I see Chair Fortner. You have 2.5 minutes beginning at Howdy.
Chair Schwartner, LR, how do you say it?
Hi.
I could not be more proud to speak on behalf of Lauren. She has been my backbone these past 2 months and someone I've been on for a lot of things. Being that we would work directly together this year, I could not be more proud to hopefully go into session with her and have her guidance. I think that our policies align almost 100% perfectly, and I think that she's the best person for the job. And with her experience, I know that was a question earlier, she has it. So I highly recommend that she be your vote. With that, I go to Senator Hurd.
Seeing that Senator Hurt has been yielded to, you have 1 minute and 55 seconds beginning at Howdy.
Howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
Senator Hurd, Visual Government Public Service. The current LR chair, former LR chair, both of you know something we should probably vote for it. That's a callback from the criminal generation for the used to say that all the time of meetings that have been. Anyways, Going into the character, yes, Lauren, she has been also not only a close personal friend, but also has clearly the extensive resume for you, serving not only as her own chair, but also serving the entire year on the commission, and also serving in Aggies and Action in DC. She knows her way around not only DC, but the state of Texas and the state legislature, because she was in our advocacy trip, earlier, a month ago almost. So she knows her way around law, so I can not only speak to her merits, but she will actually be well versed in the policies that she's trying to continue to advocacy. I know there was a question on personal bias with the coupon. Again, guys, we're student government. We have real politics, real ramifications that when it comes to your stance on Israel and Palestine and foreign policy, we're not touching that with the 10-foot pole. That's not our. She's the visual, isn't it? With my king, as we were. But I continue just to make sure that we focus on what is the job for the student body, which is to policy advocacy, higher education, which the three initiatives are. So with that, I go to Senator Vivanco.
Seeing that Senator Vivanco has been yielded to, you'll have 33 seconds to yeah.
Senator Bronco Bushel, Howdy Senate. Genuinely, there is someone I can recommend for this position more than Lauren. She is someone who is incredibly driven, has the experience, and is passionate about this position. He cares, and if you have a policy initiative that maybe like this position to consider, he is more than happy to work with you. She is open to working with anyone and everyone, and genuinely wants the best for this person. I cannot entrust this role with anyone more. So with that, I yield the floor.
Seeing that the floor has been yielded to, we'll now move to the first round of debate against the candidate. Do I see any debate against? Seeing none, we'll now move to the second round of debate for. Do I see any debate for? I see Senator Hunter. You'll have 2.5 minutes beginning at Howard.
And Bush will go to public service Howdy. I'm satisfied with this candidate. It takes someone who's been in Austin to know Austin, and that's very important to this role. And I have no reservations. I think that we heard out our constituents' opinions of what we're supposed to do, and I'm satisfied that will not be an issue. So with that being said, I yield to Senator.
See, that's
Gerald.
It's okay, he was in the last session, it gets confusing. Okay, Senator Adamick, you'll have 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
Senator Adamick, Officer of this caucus, how do you say it? Warren is someone who I admire dearly, because he is willing, like I've already talked about much, willing, but personal bias and which side in order to do whatever job she would have to come. And when it comes to job legislative relations, we saw her since resume, able to do that. She's someone that took her roles as Senate and ran them. She's someone that has experience in the summer, and she's someone that I would trust wholeheartedly to go represent the student body and all the things that we want to accomplish in Austin. She's someone I trust you. And I can't say enough kind words about her and friend as well. I'm very glad, like Senator Hunter said, that we're able to listen to our constituents tonight. That's an important part of the think about very often. Not only agree or disagree with their external political views. The fact is that we represent the body when we do that very well tonight. So I'm glad that we're able to stand here and debate for these candidates, against these candidates and all the team. So take a moment and realize how much of a blessing that is. With that, I yield to you.
Seeing that the floor has been yielded to, we will now move to the second round of debate against the candidate. Do I see any debate against? See Senator Cox. You'll have 2.5 minutes beginning at Howdy.
On campus office, I'm gonna preface, I'm still honestly making a decision in my head, but I just want to bring up maybe in favor of to play devil's advocate. I think it's clear to also bring to conversation that things do not happen in a vacuum. Thoughts, ideas, and beliefs always find themselves in higher education, so I feel like there's been a big push to make it external. They're here, we're here. Things blend. This is a college campus. It was created for those blending of ideas, and things do not happen in a vacuum. Like I said, I'm not trying to urge you to vote one way or another. Just simply consider that in your vote today. And I will too. Like I said, I'm not stating against, but with that, I yield to assembly before.
Seeing that the floor has been yielded to, debate has concluded. We will now move into a period of voting. We will do this via standing vote led by Pro Tem Schroyer. All those in favor of the candidate, please rise to your right.
All those opposed? By a vote of 42-1, Lauren Clark is confirmed as the VP.
I state your name, do solemnly swear
I, Lauren Clark, do solemnly swear
to faithfully execute to the best of my ability
to faithfully execute to the best of my ability
the duties of the office of state your office
the duties of the office of Vice President of Legislative Relations
for the Texas A&M University Student Government Association,
for the Texas A&M Student Government Association,
to uphold the honor of the same
to uphold the honor of the same
at all times to protect the welfare of the student body
at all times to protect the welfare of the student body
and to promote good relations between the students
and to promote good relations between the students
and those concerned with the university.
and those confirmed with the university.
Congratulations.
All right, with that, we'll now be moving to our VP Municipal Affairs.
Howdy, Senate. If you think we're taking a long time, just know you could have voted to put them all in one and we could have been done. You did this, not me. We'll keep rocking and rolling. Eli Matthews is no secret to student government. I got the privilege of knowing him his entire time here at Texas A&M. We got to meet during his freshman year. He has served student government really, really well through involvement on the LR commission and just being involved in so many different areas. He is genuinely one of the deepest thinkers I know. He's not going to just randomly form an opinion about something. He's going to gather input, learn about things, deeply seek information, and make the best decisions possible for our student government. His character speaks for himself, and he's a man I know to love the Lord really, really well, and to help the people around him love the Lord well. So I'm really excited for you guys to get to meet Eli Matthews, the Vice President of Municipal Affairs candidate.
All right, you'll have 5 minutes. 5 minutes to give me a howdy.
Howdy, Senate. My name is Eli Matthews, and I'm the class of 2028. Go to the next slide. So this is me. I'm from Budapest, Hungary. I've grown up all over the world. Budapest, Hungary is my hometown. I'm majoring in international affairs with minors in economics and Russian. Fun fact is I've been to 32 countries. And then that's, that's my family there. My mom, she got her master's degree this summer. That was super fun. And I was in fish aids. Those are the fish aids. Love them. My best friends. All right, thanks. All right, some experience. So my campus involvement is as follows. I've been in the student government pretty much the entire time I've been here at A&M. I served on the Legislative Relations Commission. This year as a member working on the first gen matching grant with Brendan Hurd. It was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. Got to go to Austin a couple of weeks ago. Never learned more than in one day than on that day in Austin. Super duper fun. Got to serve in the Student Rules and Regs Committee, Student Senate representing the Bush School for a semester, and a fish aid. I also served with the Alexander Hamilton Society, facilitating conversations on international affairs. Served as a delegate to MSC SCONA, Camp Love, Brew, and then some work experience. I work at Bush School IT on computers. And MK to MK student ministry, where I was a summer intern in South Africa, leading a mission trip for 5 weeks. Right. Vision and values. So my values, aside from my faith, excellence, responsibility, and authenticity. I believe in being the same person no matter who I'm interacting with or where I'm at. Responsibility, I hold, what I'm tasked with a great sense of pride and duty. And excellence, I hope to do all that I'm tasked with to the best of my ability to serve the student body. Some vision, this is what I hope for my year as VPMA, to foster a collaborative relationship and a friendly relationship with the cities of College Station and Bryan and all the local governments and institutions, to encourage civic engagement among the student body, advocate for student parking rights to the city government, as you might have heard about, that whole situation and to collaborate with other parts of SGA to expand the Aggie Citizenship Summit. I thought that was super fun and I would love to bring it back in a greater capacity. And that's all. I'm ready to watch.
All right, with that, he's open for a 5-minute period of question and answer. I see Senator Babanco.
Senator Malco, wonderful. Having so much experience with international affairs, how do you plan on localizing the position on national scale and from micro scale?
Great question. I think that the skills that I've learned through international policy are highly transferable to this situation here with municipal affairs. I think policy is all about building relationships first. And I think that's so much easier to do on a local level, like city government. With international politics, it's so much bigger, so much more convoluted. The idea of building a relationship between governments and between countries is just so difficult. Here I have the privilege to work with the members of city council and the executive, like the city manager and people like that. I'm so excited to be able to implement that relationship part of policy so much more practically and effectively here at this work.
Senator Hurt.
Public service, favorite IT course, I don't even want.
I think we can go back. Maybe I talked about one of them. But values, authenticity, I mean, and excellence is up there, but I think authenticity is basically integrity. I think that ties in very much to my value of faith. I really believe in being the same person no matter where I'm at or who I'm talking to. So yeah, integrity.
Other questions? Senator Lathrop?
Similar leadership college in arts and sciences. So in your vision, you have a couple of very broad ideas. Do you have any like specific tangible things that you want to work on?
I really want to, I mean, I talked about the Aggie Citizenship Summit. I think that's something that's really specific and deliverable. But I really just believe in continuing the work that the current VPMA has been doing just to build the relationship with the city government, especially after the kind of controversy with SB 1567. I think they're really afraid that we're going to do something like that again. And through my work on the Legislative Relations Commission, I've been able to interact closely with the hiring policy that we're doing. I think through that, I can assure them that we're not going to do something like that again, and that all of our policies focus on higher ed, and that we could truly move forward in a collaborative effort for the city government. I think also they've been working to develop Northgate a lot, and they have kind of a new plan for that, and I'm going to be really involved in offering a student perspective on it.
Other questions? Senator Hurt?
In municipal government public service, how do you plan on navigating the hostilities of that city government from agents?
I wouldn't necessarily see it as hostility. I think they have valid concerns, and I'm here to field those concerns and represent the students in a good light. I don't think they're hostile to students at all. I think they really care about students. I think sometimes you have some policy disagreements, but I think something that's important is communicating what our agenda is as a student government to student government before we go and interact with the city government. I would like to make sure that we're all on the same front and understand what we're doing before we go and talk to city government. That way we have sort of a unified voice and a really collaborative effort on that.
Any other questions? You better be thanking for his time. All right, with that, we're now moving into the first round debate. Okay, for the candidate. I see Troy Tim Troyer. You'll have 2.5 minutes. Troy Tim Troyer, howdy. Okay. All right, Eli Matthews is one of the greatest men I know. I met him through Fish Days our freshman year, and he was also Senate Fish Days, and he is a stranger to the Senate room. He loved his time here. His skills are going to be so well served if y'all vote for him. He would be Charlie's partner, and they already have a working relationship. They would work well together. I have no doubt in that. Again, Eli is just one of the most outstanding men I've ever met, and I have no doubt that if chosen to do this, he would do it well. He would execute it to the best of his ability to do it with integrity throughout the entire process. With that, I yield to Chair Glover. Seeing that Chair Glover has been yielded to, you'll have 1 minute and 51 seconds beginning at how.
All righty. Chair Glover, CPR, howdy, senators. Back. All right. So like we said, me and you are really spent on what we want to get done. I think with Mount Larkin, preoccupied with the on pledge here. We didn't really take on that many citizenships on it, but as well as that, I mean, like you said, Northgate, all of these, mobility and transportation plans that we're seeing, like, everything that's happening with infrastructure, like road widening, that goes hand in hand, the Eastgate and the story. Me and Eli, I think, both have the same perspective on the idea that council members are beholden to the people who elected them. And so it's not hostility, as he said, but it is rather, they're just trying to do what they believe is right. And sometimes those two, our policies just go on the side, but me and Eli really do what Andy has done, what Lauren has helped to do during her time as CR, and really just continue to build that partnership. I yield for sorry, Senator Ravonda.
Seeing that Senator Ravonda has been yielded to, you'll have 45 seconds beginning at 45.
Senator Ravonda, which school, how do you say it? Eli Matthews is someone who I consider a very personal friend of mine. I met him my freshman year through the Butch 141 class where there's like 300 kids in the room and you're telling all the freshmen go along and have fun and talk about politics. But many times that of all the times that I've spoken with him, I've always seen that he's someone who genuinely cares, who wants to hear about what you care about and make amends and try to fix it. He's always looking for the next way to help and the next way to get his hand on the project where he can do good for not only us, but our community at large. I really implore you all to vote him in. And that I yield to the floor.
Seeing that the floor has been yielded to, we'll now move to the first round of debate against the candidate. Do I see you doing it again? Seeing none, we'll now move to the second round of debate for. I see Senator Hurd.
Senator Hurd, wishful goodness and public service, probably Senate. But anyways, talking about Eli, I had the privilege of serving as his policy mentor, I guess if you will, on the Western Relations Commission. He worked hands-on the first generation after program. And I love Eli because when he asked him the question, like for instance, about is city becomes impossible to see, he always thinks. And I admire that because I am a yapper and I will say things that I don't always think through. And Eli is the perfect person to understand how to navigate. Frankly, I would care for sometimes hostile situations. Back in my day, not to get part of the us. When we were working on a secret police 67, but that's a story for another time. But Eli is able to navigate and build relationships. And I think that he's the person who understands who's the right person, at least to get the right thing done at the right time. And I think his experience in the commission can be transferred down to the local city government. We've already had it work with the city multiple times on different legislative initiatives, and his experiences of not only a Bush senator, but also as a fish aide, I think he has an ample understanding of the Student Government Association itself to work closely with Chair Glover. They have a great working relationship. I cannot speak highly enough of his character, and I feel like I would be a dead horse to talk about how great he is, so I'll yield to the floor with that.
Seeing that the floor has been yielded to, we'll now move to the second round of debate against. We're seeing debate against the candidate. Seeing that is the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided, we'll now move into a period of voting. This will be done via a standing vote led by Pro Tem Troyer. All those in favor, please rise. All those opposed? I think it's 40.
I say your name, do solemnly swear
I, Eli Matthews, do solemnly swear,
to faithfully execute to the best of my ability
faithfully execute to the best of my ability
the duties of the office of state your office
the duties of the office of Vice President of Municipal Affairs
for the Texas A&M University Student Government Association,
of the Texas A&M University Student Government Association,
to uphold the honor of the same
to uphold the honor of the same
at all times to protect the welfare of the student body
at all times to protect the welfare of the student body
and to promote good relations between the students
and to promote good relations between the students
and those concerned with the university.
and those concerned with the university.
So help me God.
So help me God.
All right, with that, we are going to move efficiently into our internal affairs elections. We're doing the finance chair election. The floor is now open for nominations. Do I see any nominations? I see Senator Nod. Senator, Adamant, do you accept the nomination? Perfect. You'll be candidate one. Do I see any other nominations? Seeing none, the floor is now closed. When you come to the floor to present, you'll have 5 minutes for you and your character witness. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. 79 and 79. Okay. Officer election materials, finance chair. Holy mackerel. You really tried. 5 minutes for both of you, okay? Come by.
All right, how you doing? Y'all heard from me a little before, I'm right, having to go right to the next slide, I'll keep this quick, next slide again. So, fun fact, this may be the exact same presentation I used last session, but a couple updated things. Point out some key things with me and my friends, fellow senators at a baseball game earlier this year. That picture is me and my friends in Prague. That picture is me and my Sigma Chi bunch brothers, on a ski trip this winter, so that was kind of fun. Next one, some of my involvements, talking about them a little bit briefly. I served Sigma Chi as vice president of philanthropy, absolutely love that. I just finished my term as developing business leader vice president of philanthropy. I served as junior class president, junior class vice president this last year, which was awesome. Served as student senate, my second session, I was off-campus senator, and I was the finance chairman for half of the 78th session. Served as an Aggie muster host last night. Thank you for everyone that came to muster. It was a great experience. Absolutely loved it. I would 100% recommend you do that. I'm also an 1879 Society ambassador. So my vision remains the same going into the session. Efficiency, of course, that's what we're trying to do right now. So we keep going. Wide impact on a lot of different SGA committees that we have. Faithfulness, not only to those that like me tonight, but also to all those that like me to serve in the Senate as well, and how I do things. Candidness, I think we need to do everything with kindness and love. And I think, as someone said earlier, being kind and being honest. And friendliness for your student Senate. I really love how this session we've been able to break some barriers, and hopefully that can continue going forward. I'm going to touch on the bottom two right here, because the top two are the same exact ones I had. The relationships I built last session, make sure that allocation goes smoothly again. Some of these relationships I built, hopefully I'm going to carry over to the fall. And then I've talked to Senator Blanco very briefly about developing a subcommittee to just enhance the experience that the SGA committees have to ensure that they're able to know how to spend their finances, as well as request certain funding, and ensure proper spending. So that could be a fun project that we can work on. My core value is self-service. Love it. Everyone talked about why that is. Also, I'm talking about that Bible verse, why I really love that. The only thing I updated on this slide is the percentage. 1 out of 78 was our last time, and that was 1.28%. 1 out of 79 is 1.26%. We represent 1.26%. Bless you. Of all senators, I represent 1.26% of all finance chairmen. Bigger than me, bigger than us. About making sure it impact us far beyond the time here. With that, my character witness and all my other recommendations.
Oh, now.
Let's go. All right, howdy, Senate. Well, to know him is to love him, Mr. Ryan. Oh, it's a great picture. Well, he asked me today because I kind of forgot that he was running for this position, so I went ahead and had our good friend ChatGPT write a quick character witness for us. So here we go. This is straight from ChatGPT. Thank you all for being here. Ryan Adams is the kind of student leader who elevates every organization he's a part of, especially when it comes to student government finances. He brings a level of intentionality that's hard to find. Every budget decision, allocation, and recommendation is approached with purpose, care, and a clear understanding of how it impacts the broader student body. Ryan isn't just looking at numbers, he understands the story behind them. Making sure funding is used in a way that supports meaningful initiatives and maximizes value
for students. He's detail-oriented, reliable, and incredibly sharp when it comes to financial oversight. But what really sets him apart is how he balances that technical skill with strong relationships. People trust him because he's transparent, fair, and always willing to help others navigate the process. Beyond his technical ability, Ryan is proactive and forward-thinking. He anticipates challenges before they arise and consistently looks for ways to improve systems, streamline processes, and make student government more effective as a whole. He leads with both confidence and humility, never seeking credit, but always delivering results. His work ethic, integrity, and commitment to doing things the right way make him someone others naturally look to for guidance. In every sense, he embodies a servant leader, putting the needs of others and the success of the organization ahead of himself. As John C. Maxwell once said, a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, shows the way. Ryan consistently lives that out, setting the example, doing the work, helping others succeed along the way. But in all seriousness, this was funny, but I thought this was actually a pretty good way of talking about Ryan. But it's been one of my best friends since sixth grade. I have a lot of faith in this man right here. I actually got to serve with him on the finance committee last year, or I guess this year.
Just wrap up in 1 minute too.
He's really great, so you should vote for him, and if you don't, he's gonna be in the position either way, so. Thank you.
I got you over your 5 minute period question and answer. Oh, sure, you pick.
Oh.
Permission to preface.
Briefly.
So you were on an intramural softball team. And you might once say have an eye for being able to tell if a ball is a ball or a strike. How can you use that ability to find the little knickknacks within delegating money and finance?
So I think it's important to realize your whole job, no matter the box, you get on base. Trying to get on base here, make sure all these organizations are able to advance successfully, make sure they're all able to use their funds. Doesn't matter how you get there. You're gonna pick through the weeds a little bit, see if the ball's coming in, it's gonna land on the mat or not. But like I said, the whole goal is to get on base. If that means 4 walks in one game, let's do it.
Tender hurt.
I was
Public service, you're acting as chair, would you plan to continue to use the allocation responsibly in the code of conduct as satisfied? Same to the
Yes, 100%. It was a great learning experience last session, and I 100% plan to go forward with that. We'll get the full allocation process instead of just a supplemental one, so I'm very excited to see that forward.
Or not.
Student or not off campus projects. What drives you to be so intentional to go over this final? It's making tough budgets decisions while still ensuring every word it is making.
I think it's a combination of one, understanding we're all students here. Of course, every single person that's a teaching leader of the organization is going to want as much money as possible, but that's on myself and my chair as well as committee to really evaluate and pick through how much money needs to be allocated, how wide is the impact. Talked about this a little bit when the 70 research happened earlier, but it's very awesome to experience a couple different of these committees funded this semester, whether it be Aggie Build, whether it be big event or any carpool, seeing where the money is going directly and seeing how wide the impact is, not just for myself, but tons of students. That's what drives me forward, knowing that there's great communities out there.
Tender bro. Oh, no.
Their approach, Lauer based in the business. How has being a brother some time to hit hoops along chapter?
I think understanding that when it comes to running a fraternity, it's a business, it's about making hard decisions. It's about making the most of what you have. So as VP FLANP, I actually don't even get a budget this semester. I was told you spend as little money as possible on our big FLANP event, 30 days. Through that event, we were able to raise $43,000 for Hudson Cancer Institute. Not only that, we were able to completely cover our costs when it came to raising money. So this event cost the chapter, this week of events, actually cost the chapter $0. And we're able to net almost 22 grand in money that we're getting donated to cancer. Understanding that money needs to be used efficiently, and money needs to be used in a way that is advancing whatever cause is first, before it's about all the bells and whistles what they're on.
that would be cool to have a lot of different things that we can understanding it's about having the widest impact is something I would take from.
Senator Ivanka.
There also, well, last year there was a slight issue with the opposite, but I never really knew how to exactly
Point of order, Madam Speaker. One of the, Senator Hurd, Bushville Government Public Service, and your Senator.
That's true, yeah. Okay, Senator Lathrop.
Related public sciences, should you be like, what would be your policy on AI use?
I believe that AI can be a great tool, for us senators. I believe it can be a great tool, for senators, potentially even vouching for other senators. I also think it could be a great way to, analyze some of the budgets in all honesty. It was really cool what Nick was able to put together, last semester when it came to looking at the budget sheet of how money is being spent. I think maybe that's something we look to, to make Nick's life a little bit easier than we divided a lot of them. So that's my take on that.
Senator Not.
Senator, not off, it's permission with briefly, correct.
You got it.
Last session, about an hour and a half ago, you mentioned in your reporting that you had used, at the clerk pool your time at Texas A&M University. So my question for you is, you talked about hearing.
Definitely. So actually, I never heard about Ivy Park Pool up until my time during the budget allocation.
State your point.
In Chad Lowry May School, Senator Chen, Lowry May School Business, questions about Trevane.
Mr. Nate, because we call that.
Point of order, Madam Speaker. Senator Hurd, Bushville Government Public Secretary, Senator Johnson.
That's true. However, I think it is true because we do fund them. You have one sentence.
Getting to talk with the students about their why was the most important part of that entire car ride home. And understanding that they are there to serve students and that our money could potentially be used to help serve a wider base.
Awesome. Please exit the room with your character witness. All right, with that, we're now moving into the first round debate for the candidate. I see Chair Abel. You'll have 2.5 minutes beginning at howdy.
Able, student services, howdy. I've had the pleasure of playing softball with candidate one. And just kind of being able to see him outside of Senate as well as in Senate. He is someone who like truly lives to his character and what he does. And he did a great job last session with the finances and being able to do that in such a short period of time. And I just think that's a testament to who he is and what he cares about. And I candidate one actually talked to me, I think like a week ago, about how he was choosing to stay in Senate or potentially go to the executive side in finance. And he chose to stay in Senate because he loves this organization, he loves this group. So I yield to Chair Porter.
Seeing that Chair Schwertner has been yielded to, you'll have 1 minute and 46 seconds beginning at howdy.
Chair Schwertner, LR on Senate. So at the time, can I say his name or do I have to say candidate? Candidate one, was his VP of philanthropy for Sigma Chi while I was VP of campus relations for Zeta. And we were participating in their annual Derby Days event that they do every year. And candidate one had, actually reached out to us and had been so helpful, all of them, in communication with me, and helping me with the events and helping Zeta out. He actually ended up donating $500 to our philanthropy by the end of it. And we didn't even win. I think we got fifth place that year. So his character is something I could really speak highly of. He's made a difference at Texas A&M, not just in SGA, but in Greek life as well. And he is the person for the job. With that, I yield to Senator Vivanco.
Seeing that Senator Vivanco has been yielded to, you'll have 55 seconds beginning at howdy.
Senator Vivanco, Bushville, County Senate. I actually wrote notes as short as possible. First of all, Senator candidate one is genuinely someone who's gonna jump on board for whatever you want. I sent him a 2-page, very packed Time Romans, margins really long. Technically essay about my thoughts on the finance committee, and he took it and is running with it, and is looking at that as viable. So if you have any ideas, he is there to teacher guides. We will hop on an hour-long conversation to discuss it with students, very passionate. On top of that, he wants to spread leadership. If someone who has a role, has an identity, and has an idea, he will jump in and send you still caring as to spread leadership as far as wide as possible. To the point where whenever I was bringing up the finance subcommittee at one point, he actually asked, why, is there someone else who needs the role? Is there someone else who would be qualified for it? And do you want me to?
Please wrap up in 1 sentence or less.
I think that shows enough that he cares. And even then, he's not on the transportation meeting where 100
Please wrap up.
is no longer an all passes law. So I think that shows enough. Thank you.
We're now moving to the first round of debate against the candidate. Do I see any debate against the candidate? Seeing none, we're now moving to the second round of debate 4. I see Senator Cox. You'll have 2.5 minutes beginning at Howdy.
Howdy. Senator Cox on campus caucus. I'm the furthest from the Greek life anybody can talk about. And but I don't know the guy. He is carpool as an officer, as someone that gives us rides. I can tell you, rides home from Northgate range between $30, $40. Carpool is free. This guy knows his resources. Standard tries to serve money. Bacon. I give the floor to Senator Hurt.
Seeing that Senator Hurt has been yielded to, you'll have 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Beginning at Howdy.
Hi, Senate. Senator Bushel, it's past my bedtime, it's late, I'm old, so I'll be brief, actually. I'm talking about candidate one, not only knows how to be truthful and honest within the allocation process, there's specifically back to my name, there's been a lot of hostility, I guess, on trying to navigate the process, being able to quite well, especially with the second budget process, this year, which is kind of normal. So being able to have that experience is great for under his belt. Candidate is a great individual, person of character and hospitality, as he is a part of that I've learned throughout student government this entire process. So just want to speak and without being able to some of the
Seeing that Senator Lathrop has been yielded to, you'll have 1 minute and 26 seconds beginning at.
Senator Lathrop, Club Arts and Sciences, howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
So, whenever I was preparing to run for student services, I was talking to a lot of people, I was hearing a lot of things about the previous session. And I can genuinely say that I didn't hear a single bad thing about his job, about the way, like the things that he did and the effort that he put into Senate. And I really just think that that speaks to his character and his ability in this position. And I really think that shows he should. And with that, I yield to Senator Smith.
Seeing that Senator Smith has been yielded to, you'll have 58 seconds beginning at Howdy.
Senator Smith, off campus, howdy. So I actually never ran until December, believe it or not.
Order. State your point. Here to meet rules and regulations, we refer to the candidate. That's true, you're out of order. And that concludes the round of debate. We're now moving to the second round of debate against. Do I see any debate against? Seeing as the opinion of the two debate has become one-sided, we will now move into a period of voting. This will be done via standing vote led by Pro Tem Schroyer. All those in favor of the candidate, please rise to your right. All those opposed? Okay, go ahead.
I state your name, do solemnly swear,
I, Ryan Adler, do solemnly swear,
to faithfully execute to the best of my ability,
to faithfully execute to the best of my ability,
the duties of the office of state your office,
the duties of the office of Public Chairman,
the Texas A&M University Student Government Association,
Texas A&M University Student Government Association,
to uphold the honor of the same
to uphold the honor of the same
at all times, to protect the welfare of the student body,
at all times, to protect the welfare of the student body,
and to promote good relations between the students
and to promote good relations between the students
and those concerned with the university.
and those concerned with the university.
So help me God.
So help me God. So,
We'll now move into a period of new business, beginning with SB 7901, the Texas First Generation Match Grant Program Bill. Will the author please come to the floor to present?
Okay, I said I'm gonna be quick, so we have to get past tonight, so that way we can start working on them this summer before the session. So this is the Texas First Generation Match Grant Program Bill, which is a bill to pass the legislative commission with the ability to advocate for creation of a first generation match grant program. Whereas the SGA code states the Senate must approve all priorities set by the Legislative Relations Commission before the commission is allowed to begin the policy process. And the Legislative Relations Commission is interested in authoring a bill for the 90th Texas legislative session to implement a Texas First Generation Matching Grant Program. And whereas the program would create a state support matching grant program to expand the need-based financial aid for first generation college students at a public higher education students across institutions across Texas. And whereas first generation students face significant financial barriers that impact college access, retention, and graduation, and expanding financial aid will support student success and strengthen the future Texas workforce. Therefore, let it be enacted, the Legislative Relations Commission is allowed to pursue activities related to research, drafting, and advocacy for legislation and initiatives relating to first generation match program. Let it further be enacted, the Legislative Relations Commissioner shall share all pertinent information that pertains to the bill and actions taken with the chair of the Legislative Relations Committee.
Open for questions?
Yes.
All right, she's open for questions. Do you see any questions? Seeing none, thank you for your time. Okay, this piece will be going to the legislative relations. Okay, we're now moving to SB 7902, the Texas Future Workforce Bill. Will the author please come to the floor? Don't just say what it's about. We can come to the floor and then just say leave. Sorry.
Okay, this bill is for the student senate to approve legislative relations commission to make Texas workforce development initiative for the Texas Future Workforce Bill as a legislative priority for the 90th session. So basically, we're just looking into applying career ready curriculum into institutions for kids to be ready for jobs and early college.
Perfect. Any questions? Seeing none, this will go to legislative relations. With that, we're now going to move to SB 7903, the Foster Care Student Success Bill.
This bill just establishes an education advocacy board and advisory board to overlook the statistics of foster care students in higher education universities and look into options how to better support them financially.
Perfect. Do I see any questions? Seeing none, we thank her for her time. That will also go to the LR. That will now move to the first reading of SB 7904, the class president election bill for the class of 2030. Will the author please come to the floor, please? State your point. Yes. Yes, sorry about that. Yeah, it's pulled out. All right.
Howard Senate, just wanted to say real quick, this is not ChatGPT. Just wanted to preface that very briefly before we got into it. Basically what this is a bill to open or direct SGA election commission to open up the class of 2030 president to run in the fall election. Yeah, that's really it, because we, or I guess not, but class councils and class presidents expanded from one another, if you didn't know that, and now we have a way to get a nice freshman class president in office. So that's what this bill is doing.
Yeah, pretty much without this, we don't elect freshman class president. So, yeah.
Perfect. They're open for a period of questions. Do I see any questions for the authors? Seeing none, we thank them for their time. This will go to the rules and regulations. That we are now moving to SR 7901, the softly called the muster resolution. Will the author please come to the floor?
Well, the tradition of muster can be traced back to where guys were on campus muster was first held in the year 1924. It's been held on the 21st of April every year since. And whereas the on-campus muster is the largest muster ceremony worldwide. In the ceremony, the names of primarily every student, faculty, staff, and the members of the 30-year reunion class are read aloud during the local call for dance. And whereas the 102nd on-campus muster will be held at Reed Arena on Tuesday, April 21st, 2026 at 7 p.m. The Colonel Michael R. C. Riley from his class of 94 as the keynote speaker, delivering the muster address. And whereas muster is Texas A&M University's revered and solemn tradition that unites Aggies in remembrance of current and future students who therefore let it be resolved, the Texas A&M University Student Senate honors the sacred tradition of Aggie muster and all the Aggies who have passed. And let it further be resolved, the Texas A&M University Student Senate appreciates and applauds the Aggie Muster Committee for their hard work in keeping the Aggie Muster tradition alive. Let it further be resolved, the Texas A&M University Student Senate recognizes all Aggies that attended a muster ceremony located in the year event, and specifically all Aggies in College Station that attended muster at Reed Arena on Tuesday, April 21st, 2026 at 7 p.m.
All right, with that, she's open for period of question and answer. Do I see? Seeing none, we thank her for it. That will now move into a period of debate on the piece, beginning with the first round debate for the piece. Do I see any debate for it? Seeing none, we'll now move to the first round debate against the piece. Do I see any debate against it? Seeing none, we'll now move to the second round of debate for the piece. Do I see any debate for the piece? Seeing none, we'll now move to the second round debate against the piece. Do I see any debate against it? Seeing none, is the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided, we will now move into a period of voting on the piece. We'll do this via standing vote led by Pro Tem Troyer. All those in favor of the passage of SR 7901, the chocolate called the muster resolution, please turn in zero. All those opposed? By a vote of 47 to 0, this piece does pass. That was now the consideration of SR 7902, the Aggie Equestrian Excellence Resolution. Will author please come to the floor to present?
Rules and regulations, howdy. This piece is a little bit of some overlap from my time in the previous session. After people here, actually, there's some operational changes that need to be made on this piece so that it's, is it good? Yeah, just a couple operational things on here, but something really awesome happened. The equestrian team won the SEC championship. That was awesome. They also competed in the NCAA championship, and they did great. They made it to the very final round, lost by the Paramowers, and they did a great job. Also, really want to shout out Senator Tolba. This is the first piece he's ever written. He did an excellent job with it. I think open for questions.
Any questions? Make your amendment.
I would love to open sponsorship for this piece. Yep, that's
Okay, cool.
Okay,
Okay, cool. Perfect. Any other questions? Seeing none, we thank her for her time. That will now move into a period of debate on the piece, beginning with the first round of debate for the piece. So any debate for the piece. Seeing that, do not take a picture of that. Now we move to the second round, our first round debate against the piece. So any debate against the piece. Seeing none, we're now moving to the second round of debate for the piece. So any debate for the piece. Seeing none, we're now moving to the second round of debate against the piece. Do I see any debate against? Seeing none, is the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided. We'll now move into a period of voting on this piece. This will be done via general consent. Do I see any objection to the passage of SR 7902, the Aggie Equestrian Excellence Resolution? Seeing none, this piece does pass. With that, we'll now move into a period of committee reports. There's no consent. With that, we're now moving to a period of committee reports, beginning with Speaker Pro Tem. Do I see any questions for, do you have a committee report you'd like to share? Okay, do I see any questions for the pro tem? Seeing none, we'll now move to rules and regulations chair. Do I see any questions for Chair T? Seeing none, we thank her for her time. We'll now move to the community relations chair. Do I see any questions for Chair Glover?
Now that we have to go back to the community board and, you know, person volleyball, we'll have a meeting with the city office. Yeah, about, so, don't look up that. Also, thinking about the committees.
Any questions? Seeing none, we thank her for her time. That will go to the finance chair. Do I, oh no, wait, do you have a committee report?
No, but,
Do I-
I'm excited,
Sorry.
I'm excited, to be that, it's thought, any questions about the committee, we'll operate a little different than other committees, you know, a lot of our work happens in 2 or 3 weeks, but it's a wonderful way, I was, speech, it's to me all the time. So, talk to me after the meeting.
Senator Babanco?
Also, what's cool, we're going to use it. How do you possibly have to December, what really happens?
It happened, the first couple, the first couple sessions of the fall semester, so we're not here with also the fall.
Any other questions? Seeing none, we thank him for his time. Now into our academic affairs chair. If any questions for Chair Whitehead?
As like the school student, are there any personal anecdotes and like professors, advisors, any faculty in half of your life? Please reach out to me to tell me your story. I would love to see a resolution recognizing them and their commitment to students.
Any questions? Seeing none, we thank her for her time. That was our constituency affairs chair.
We're working on switch with senators, moving forward with consistency affairs. Even if you're not on my committee, I would love to get to know every single one of y'all, because I do think constituency affairs should involve the entirety of the Senate, regardless of whatever committee you end up choosing or wanting to be on. I'm very busy, so there's not much.
Any questions? Yep. Seeing none, we thank him for his time. With that, we'll move to our legislative relations chair.
All right, guys, I'll be super excited about the 3 bills we have, going to my committee this week, looking forward to getting those passed and working on those this summer, getting ready for the 90th pledge. If you are interested in legislative relations, please reach out to me, I would love to talk about it, and give you just a little bit of background on what we're planning to do this semester, so reach out to me, my members in the contact.
Please refrain from packing me up. Okay, with that, we're moving to, oh wait, nope. Do we have any questions? I see some members.
Sorry, high school business. You just use the abbreviation pledge. Do you often use abbreviations?
Now refer to brief line. No matter what part of, but pledge, I would say yes, so it's abbreviations for 90, but.
Especially the back and forth.
I don't know about that. No. Any other questions? Seeing none, we thank her for her time. Okay.
House doesn't really have much, but if you have, you know, different things you might be like passionate about, and you want to change big, university that there's still initiatives, like I know, there have folks reached out to me, and we're working on like dying initiatives and anything else that you might have a passion on, reach out to me, I'm an open book, ready to listen to you guys and make things happen. So, yeah.
Any questions? Seeing none, we thank you for your time. That will be Commission and Culture Chair.
I'm currently working on just having a plan for like some resolutions that I'm trying to suggest for insights in that, I'll be just that opinion.
Any questions? Okay, Chair team's rules and regulations. How did it feel to pass your first piece then? Really excited. Any other questions? Seeing none, we thank her for her time. Now, we'll move to our Executive Director of Operations. Any updates?
Not too many updates, but as of now. Yeah,
Great.
thank you guys.
Any questions? IT table.
Services, how's it feel to sit at the desk?
It was cool. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, learning the ropes and getting the hang of it. So thank y'all for bearing with me.
Oh, Chair Adamet, you probably move your spot down there.
Sure, I'm excited. Could you just give us a quick, hanging instructions so that we know you're able to speak off if you're not on?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I used that like that.
Yeah, do it.
Okay. Howdy. My name is Ross Strobel, and I'm an economics major from Tomball, Texas. But more importantly, I am the loudest and the proudest member of the Fighting Texas Aggie class of 2029.
Oh, perfect. Any other questions? Seeing that, we thank him for his time. With that, we're now beginning to executive reports, beginning with our student body vice president.
Howdy, Senates. You have heard from me a lot tonight. Here's the deal. I think this next session is going to be unprecedented in terms of the legislative body working with the executive body. We are committed to working with y'all. I ask that you guys would do the same and be committed to working with us. If you have a problem with any of the candidates for putting up any of the things that we're doing, shoot me a text about it. Let's go get coffee. Let's go talk about it. I think the people here are incredible. The people we're putting up as we kind of finish cabinet recruitment. Y'all will get to see the rest of our cabinet very, very soon. So super excited about that. Really thankful for the year ahead that we get to work with each and every one of you. I know you guys are so committed to serving the students. So with that, I will now be open to a period of questions. Time period.
I see Senator Broach.
Commissioner Prentice,
Yeah, briefly.
Super briefly.
Senator Broach, Lauderdale May School of Business. You were informed that today was bow tie Wednesday, yet you were not wearing one. Why?
As I was walking here, I actually have raise your hand if you've seen a squirrel on campus recently. Yeah. As I was walking here, I actually was at the MSC and there was a squirrel walking into the MSC, and I threw my bow tie off and threw it at the squirrel so it wouldn't get trapped in the MSC to protect the students in there. And the squirrel, not being an Aggie, so he'll cheat, he'll lie, he'll steal. He stole my bow tie and he ran back off to his family. So now I'm bow tie-less. But if you see that squirrel, tell him what's up.
Pro Tem Troyer.
So you mentioned if you have any questions to.
Yeah. For those of you who've never been to Coco Loco, it's the best Mexican food restaurant for breakfast taco. Miss Fatima, a wonderful woman who will make your breakfast taco. She knows I like crispy bacon. She brings crispy bacon. I tip well. It's a great deal. Love to see you guys there. Typically there on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I was there this morning. There's fruit. They saw me. And any other questions?
Senator Vivanco.
Senator Blanco was full, considering how you get the current student president for both senators. How do you feel finally being up here as like top dogs and teammates?
Yeah, right.
I feel like an not a top dog, but Duncan was in the student senate for probably 15 days. So I don't know if we can get him. It feels cool. I think it's really exciting. I think it's unique that I was able to serve in the Senate and do see the value in the Senate. At the end of the day, there is nothing more powerful than really great, committed, talented Aggies that believe in a mission and believe in a cause. And I don't think that changes whether or not your title is reflective of it. I think an Aggie with no title who's committed to a passion and mission is going to be successful. So I feel really blessed, really honored that we're able to be here. I think we're 21 hours into being student body president and vice president now officially, which is such a blessing. So God is good. Yeah.
Senator Castillo?
Honestly, I wrapped up classes today and had a lot of work stuff, so I haven't really thought about it at the time. But it just feels really cool to think that people cared enough and to trust us, people that probably didn't even get the chance to meet us, but for some reason believed in us because we had a really great campaign team that worked really hard. So honestly, I just credit all of the work to them and what they did for us. And really has very little to do with Duncan and I, and a lot to do with the incredible Aggies that have loved and poured into us. Well,
Any other questions? Senator Perkins?
Senator Perkins off campus. Considering how intentional Coco was, is that so intentional that you needed this class for?
I believe that some of the most transformative experiences that happen at Texas A&M occur outside of the classroom. In this lovely place called College Station. I've gotten to experience those wonderful things, like going to Chimmy's with Senator Adamack. Here,
Yeah.
congrats. Like going to Aggie Park with Tanner Owen, former pro temp. Or getting to swing on the little outdoor swing at the maze of this school with former Senator Morgan. And no back and forth, I'm not done. But there was not a place I have been more deeply changed by, like a Sunday morning, 2 bacon, egg, and cheese breakfast, tacos, and Coca-Cola.
That was not one of your things.
Sorry, Thursday morning. Sorry, I go to church, I promise. Thursday morning, 2 Diet Dr. Peppers, some green salsa. Hey, audience see, like, I think that answers it.
We're going to the back and forth.
No.
I promise I'm incredibly sincere and can't lock it. You being attention.
He's thinking for his time. With that, I'll yield the chairship to Pro Tem Troy.
Good luck following that.
Sitting here for, how long are we at? We're at 4 hours and 45 minutes. I could be home after that, but, thank y'all, like, truly from the bottom of my heart. This is awesome, that this room is school, and it's your goodness, Texas A&M, is so evident, the fact that you're still sitting in the chairs. I do not like standing up there for 3.5 hours either, but I'm really, really, really thankful that you guys see the value in the time that I'm sitting here. Yeah. With that, we also have some disclosures coming up. I sent the link to the slide for the sheet in our email. If you don't read my email, you're wrong. Please read my emails. I write them with anything for a long time, and everything in there is pertinent information for you. I try to keep it short. We also have a summer meeting. This is normal. This is completely normal. I did it really early on May 9th. In the afternoon, it's a Saturday, and we're going to confirm executive cabinet. It's going to be over Zoom, which is a lot easier to confirm executive cabinet on. We're chill. But please be there. Like potentially don't have to be addressed. Potentially, I'll think about it. We might just look at that. Yeah, be professional. Yes. So anyways, that's coming up. Have that on your calendar, but then you should be free for a long time and not be here for a week. But yes, thank you all for being here. Good luck with final. I know that it's been a long time, so it means a lot.
Great, with that, the speakers up for questions. Do I see any questions? I see Pro Tech Sawyer. Do you have any updates that Pro Tech Sawyer forgot to share that she would like for you to share? Oh. I read the text. And your emails. Oh! Email about your committee, like assignments, so y'all put committees now that we have all of our voters. You can correct, you can correct yeah, you can correct your committees. What was the other one? Do I see any other questions for the speaker? I see that or not.
But if we happen to miss the Zoom meeting, that counts as absence.
Do I see any other questions for the speaker? I see Senator Vivanco.
Is it gonna count as an absence? Is there gonna be closing and opening roll call, so there would be that plus one?
There's some rules for Zoom, and I need to read the code.
Do I see any other questions? I see Chair Keats.
Chair T overrides. Do we have an intentional IA from the local practice?
Well, I think there's already one planned on the calendar. Do I see any other questions for the speaker? All right, with that, I thank her for her time.
Thank you for.
All right, gang. Don't back up.
Point of order, is gangs remained?
Now moving into a period of closing roll call led by Pro Tech Troyer. Pro Tech Troyer. All right. And keep polling.
Howdy.
Chief Justice Andre. Dina. Howdy. Your feet. Howdy. Chair Abnett.
Howdy.
Chair Shorter. Howdy. Chair Glover. Howdy. Chair Bradley.
Howdy.
Chair Bailey.
Howdy, sorry.
Chair Whiteman. Howdy. Chair Morrison. Howdy. Medium Strobel.
Howdy.
Whitaker. Smith. Lambert. Van Winkle. Howdy. Turner.
Please don't back up.
Sullivan. Mayfield. Howdy. Attaway. Paul Maxwell. Quinn. Bowles. Richards. Lathrop. Jones. Horton.
Howdy.
Chen.
Howdy.
Roach.
Howdy.
Hancock.
Howdy.
Jones. Brad. Alfonso. John.
Howdy.
Poland. Moore.
Howdy.
Richard.
Howdy.
Knox.
Howdy.
Mock. Hunter.
Howdy.
Vivanco.
Howdy.
Hurt.
Howdy.
Westlake. Howdy. Smith. Yeah. Hudson Smith. Toba. Fair.
Howdy.
Huber. Kim. Medvedev.
Howdy.
Hughes. Cox.
Howdy.
Castillo.
Howdy.
Dick. Ibarra. Howdy. Morales. Howdy. Hogue. Not.
Howdy.
Adamant. Brooke. Eaton. Clark. No, sorry. Hankins. Howdy. Gossett. Holtzman.
Howdy.
Agnes. Lester. Howdy. Autry. Valenciano. Perkins.
Howdy.
Wise. Sparrow. Howdy. Williams. Jackson Smith.
Howdy.
Eggle.
Howdy.
Taylor.
Howdy.
Eche. Hispanic. Howdy.
Oh, yeah.
Save.
Okay, everyone, please bring your name tags right there. With that, just make it start. Hi. Hi.
Oh, Allison, hi.
Wow.
Clearing out there.
I'll be done.
Yes.
Oh, you'll be back.